think there needs to be words to this song.
Yeah, you should write them.
No.
Or Matt should write them.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Bad City. Woo woo.
Hello, hello.
I feel like it's like super cool when we've got this music playing. Thanks so much for joining us. We are here to wind down your weekend. I think that was probably the notification that we are live.
Yes.
Awesome. We're here to wind down your weekend tonight, talk about some amazing new comics that came out this week, drink a bottle of wine, hang out with you guys, with each other, have a blast. I am Shannon, aka SmallPressShann. With me, as always, I cross my fingers to say that after our little 3-week stint where we didn't have you, but with me, as always, is Wednesday Phil. How's it going, Phil?
I am doing well.
Good.
Very excited that I'll be back.
I'm very excited that you're back permanently. Woohoo! I'm going to see if I can pull up the comments because I didn't get a notification that we were live. I feel like my Facebook has just decided not to work. So we'll see how this goes for me.
Gotta set those Bat City notifications.
Yeah.
Every time y'all post on social media, I get them all.
Yeah, and because you gotta like the page, but then you also have to follow and say see first if you actually want to see stuff in your news feed. So, woo! Chad says, woohoo! I painted an accent wall in my apartment today. Busy day. Looking forward to relaxing at this point. Well, thanks for joining us, Chad. I am going to attempt to get this up on the internet for other people to see. Woohoo! How's your week been?
Long and exhausting. I'm very tired. This is the most tired I'll ever be on the live stream.
Okay, that's
so
fair.
If I yawn, just be prepared.
It's not the books. It's the day.
It is not the comics. It's the week and the thought of the weeks ahead.
Okay.
Because it was your birthday.
It was. I wasn't gonna talk about that, but Matt just totally ratted you out to the entire internet. So
yeah, we didn't have to do that, Matt.
Yeah, I was gonna let it go. I actually didn't do like I did for Matt's birthday, where I made all of the comments about him and the day of his birth. Or all the trivia questions were all about like the day he was born.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I didn't do that because I was
that.
trying to not make it a thing. So we're just gonna fast forward.
Happy birthday, Phil. Happy birthday.
No matter how many times I try to pass it. Yes. Well, then the cat's out of the bag. Yes. It was Wednesday Phil's birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Phil. You can all drop your love for him in the comments. We could become like those announcers from the White Sox game and just talk about how everything can be about your birthday. Oh yeah, so this book came out, but it was my birthday, and we'll just do that, and it'll be great.
I'm going to compare every book this week to a moment in my life.
Nice. I actually hope that you really do that because I'm looking forward to it now.
I can't.
Yeah, big exciting week. We are drinking some Kings of Prohibition. We've had this once before on the live stream, but this is a Cab Sav, and it was once again brought to us by Nigel Crudgington. So shout out Nigel, thanks so much. Who literally said, I feel like I just saw y'all, and that may be because Nigel literally just walked out the door.
Yes.
But if you haven't tried this is a fantastic wine. It's a spicy French oak wine, and I freaking love it every time.
Forest, berries, and plums.
So good. Last time we had this, we drank 2 bottles of it very, very quickly, so I'm going to just slide that over further away from me.
Was this the one we had? was
right in the shot.
Right in there.
Was this the one we had the first time I was on?
I think so, when Nigel was in charge of bringing the wine.
I think so.
Yeah. And yeah, he brought a couple bottles and we powered through them because they were so delicious. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited that we have comics this week. Last week we didn't have any of our indie comics to talk about because of a disastrous circumstance. But this week we have all of this week's indie comics and a couple from last week, and they're still trickling in, so next week we'll have a couple more to talk about. I actually forgot to grab the comic that I told you I was going to grab, so I might
it's okay.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it all the time.
Okay.
So we'll get there. I'll grab it in a little bit. But that said, I'm excited because there's a couple. We actually have a couple big 2 books in here. And then, but mostly to talk about some indies. So we can jump on in. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I got it. You want to Because it's going to lead into this. No sound. Prize! That's right. We're going to be giving you prizes all throughout the night tonight. And it's going to include... Every prize will include one entry into our random chance drawing that will be taking place on October 30th. And that... The drawing will get you a chance to win this Amazing Spider-Man number 700. It is a 9.8. It is a super cool cover. I know everybody that sees it loves this cover. You win this with a raffle ticket. You can buy the tickets in the store, or if you get the answers to the questions tonight, you can actually win a ticket. So you also get a book with each thing. So what we're going to start with is we're going to give away a copy of Campisi, which is an Aftershock title all about a guy who he's in like the Jersey neighborhood, and he's the guy that works for the crime lords, but he's supposed to be the one that like goes out into the neighborhood and keeps the neighborhood organized,
right.
And kind of keeps everybody happy and all the people out of the spot that's not supposed to be in the spot. And in this particular story, he's always also the guy that tries to keep like the townspeople happy or the community people happy. And a dragon comes to town. Dragons are still real in this world, and they aren't happy. So, you should definitely grab a copy of this book, and you are going to if you get our trivia question right. And the first question is, Marvel Zombies spun out of the events of what crossover story arc in the Marvel Universe? If you can tell me where Marvel Zombies spun out of, you get both this Campisi issue 1 and a ticket for the Amazing Spider-Man 700 raffle. I was like, what is that word I'm looking for?
Yes.
Yeah.
The quote-unquote death of Peter Parker. I do appreciate that they put the death in quotation.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Yep, yes they did. Death of Peter Parker. So if you want a chance to win that book and you want to actually win Campisi, which you will win those if you can tell me Marvel Zombies technically spun out of the events of what Marvel crossover story arc. If you know that, you get it. Your secret is you can Google Marvel Zombies and check the comics Wikipedia page, and it will tell you. Yes, Nigel, you win that, Nigel. Good, because you need to read this Campisi book. Sam, you were almost there. So it is Ultimate Fantastic 4, which I almost said Ultimate Fallout 4 because I'm terrible, and every time I hear Ultimate, I just think Ultimate Fallout. So Nigel, you are getting one ticket and a copy of Campisi. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are. I'm going to put the tickets I'm going to give the tickets to Matt, and he's going to drop them in the box. Cool. Thank you. All right. So that's going to keep going throughout the night. Like I said, you can buy tickets for the raffle to win the Amazing Spider-Man 700 in the store, or you can win chances to be entered tonight. So keep playing along as we go through. Did I just keep put everything in your shot? I'm sorry. It's just.
I thought you were saying no to people buying tickets.
That was like no prizes.
It's like, no, you can't get your raffle.
You cannot get a ticket. Thanks, Sam. We miss you too. All right. Nigel says that's the winning ticket right there. We'll see, Nigel. We'll see. We're gonna jump into some books. One of the books we never talk about Batman books on this live stream.
Which is weird because there's so many.
There's so many, but we don't ever talk about them. But I brought this one specifically tonight because Batman the Imposter, one of the newest Batman titles, has one of your artists that you love on it.
Yes, Sorrentino. And I will go ahead and say that out of all of the 19 Batman books, I probably wouldn't put this at the top, story-wise. Mm-hmm. But yes, the art in this book is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm unfamiliar with the writer, Mattson Tomlin.
Yeah, he did Project Power and Little Fish, which I'm not familiar with either of the...
And he's writing the Batman movie.
Yeah, and is he the writer of the Batman movie?
Wait, really?
Which is why this book is sold like crazy.
Yeah, I was wondering why everyone was talking about this, and then they did DC Fandom on Saturday or yesterday, and everyone was wearing Batman Imposter shirts.
That makes so much sense. So this is the writer of the Batman movie, and then the artist from Gideon Falls on art.
Yes. So I feel there's definitely some enjoyment to this book. I feel like by the end of it, I'm definitely kind of into... It's kind of a whodunit, you know? Who is this secret imposter, as the title gives away? But this art's super cool. I do really like this art.
Yeah, I like that they play with the person who might know who Bruce Wayne is being his therapist, and just, like, he might know that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and kind of just like, okay, well, while Bruce is trying to solve this mystery, like, this person is helping him try to solve the mystery of what's just, like, dealing with all of the trauma in his life. Yes. And then you've got a detective who's also trying to solve the same mystery that Batman's trying to solve. So it's cool to see all of these different people solving pieces of the puzzle. And I like, there was one page where the detective was already on to all the same things that, like, Batman's onto. And so it's the two different thought bubble streams going down the side of the page, and they're both piecing together the same thing at the same time. And I like that we have a detective in town who's not a member of the Bat family who's actually smart.
Yes.
So who knows, by the end of this book, they may be a member of the Bat family, because that's usually how that happens. If somebody's as smart as Batman, he usually just recruits them to be on his team. But I really am liking seeing this female detective just kind of piece things together almost faster than Bruce does. Yeah.
And I like that too. I mean, this isn't anything new with Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been people who have tried to be, imposters, and there's always this kind of moment when the GCPD is like, okay, we can't continue to let this vigilante go. Like, we have to figure out who it is, and why they're doing what they're doing. So, I mean, I'm a little curious. I think the art alone is worth the price point of this book.
Yeah. And this was one of those where I was like, well, I actually read the solicit for issue 2 when I did the order, and was like, ooh, I really like this. I need to order this book for, like, so I can read it. And then I was like, wait, that's issue 2. When was issue 1? And I was like, oh, well, it was probably 3 weeks ago, because I from whenever I ordered it, like that, I ordered that one. And I was like, oh, that means it's coming out this week. And so I got really excited just to try it out, just because the solicit for issue 2 actually sounds more exciting than the solicit for issue 1.
Really?
So
okay.
I'm curious to see where the story goes, if the solicits, as it continues to grow, seem to grow the story. So curious about issue 2, for sure.
Now, this says book 1, so I assume, being Black Label, it's probably going to only be 3 issues.
I'm not
Maybe
sure,
more.
but it's going to be, I mean, because Nice House on the Lake is a Black Label, and it's 12.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a mini, but it is probably going to be limited.
Right.
So we'll see how far.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'll keep reading it for sure.
Absolutely. And, I'm curious to see what that means for the writer. I know Gomez was talking about the trailer in the comments. I don't watch trailers, as you know, if you watch this live stream. So I have nothing to add to that conversation, but please don't spoil anything from the trailer in the comments, because that's why I don't watch trailers, because I think they're spoilers. So,
I will say, everyone showed up before y'all did last night, and Juan was like, if we're going to watch the Batman trailer, we need to do it now before Mad Shannon
I
show
appreciate that. Thank you, Juan. Charles watched it at the counter while he was volunteering with me yesterday. He was like, oh, that Batman trailer's out. And I was like, I'm going to go to the other room, because you're just going to play that right now. So, I'm curious. Huh?
It's an ad.
Yeah.
I'm already going to go see it.
I already know I'm going to go see it.
It is a very badass ad.
I'm happy to hear that people enjoyed it. Because I know that there was a lot of contention about the Twilight Star being cast as Batman. I thought that was dumb. So I'm glad that everybody's enjoying the trailer now.
Yeah.
Anyway, more books. Lunar Ladies is back. This is a Scout comic that's not a scoop title, and I'm always confused by that when I read it.
Me too. Because it's very, very much a kid's book. Although it says teen on the back.
It does say teen, and it feels like it should be a kid's book, so it makes me wonder where it's going. That it doesn't get the didn't get the kid label from them, because Scout is trying to push their Scoot imprint so hard that it's kind of surprising. But even the trade dress looks like a kid's book.
Right.
And the spine kind of looks like a little golden book, so it always throws me off that is not what it is. But the idea behind this book is there was a planet that was all females, and one of the people on there decides to go rogue, and she creates an army of brute warriors that will respond to whatever she says no matter what, which means she creates men. And the queen and her wife and their daughter escape to Earth, which is kind of still in the caveman kind of days. There's all the like dinosaurs and things like that. And honestly, I'm really just here for the pulp art.
Yeah, same. I do really like the art, because even though it's a very kid book and story, the art just takes me back to a different time. I also love that all of the boy clones that she creates look like teenage Astro Boy.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I almost, there's like small moments in this book where I kind of want a spin-off of like their everyday lives, like what it's like to be
a clone.
Yeah, these like goofy looking 1950s clone. It's just wonderful. But I do like this book. I feel like it was a long time ago when this first issue came out.
Well, and that's because Scout they release an issue and then they wait 2 months before they release the next issue. That way, stores have the ability to check and see, like, okay, do we need to order more of issue 1 before issue 2 comes out? And the publisher themselves can say, do we need a second print? It gives stores a chance to talk about the book for people who may not have thought to pick it up. A lot of stores say that with indie comics, it's they need time to sell them, because people aren't coming in just off the street to pick up, that new issue number 1.
Right.
Bad City's a little different, because most of our subscribers and customers do come in looking for those indie books and those new number 1s. But so for us, like with Scout doing the 2-month wait, we're always like, it's coming, I promise. Like, I have the opposite problem where I'm like, I don't need that extra time. But it is an interesting concept, and I think it's great for the industry, because so many times for stores, like I just said about Batman the Imposter, I ordered issue 2 before issue 1 ever came out. And a lot of times with Marvel and DC books, I'm ordering into issue 3 or 4 before any of them have ever hit the shelf.
Right.
And that's really hard to know, like, how many do I really need of this? And so I appreciate that Scout is like, hey, take this book, sit on it, give it a chance, talk about it, read it, learn about it, and then we'll give you issue 2 after a couple months. I know some of the books are having a little bit longer of delay, because there is the delays in publishing now. So some of those books that had their issue 1s, their issue 2s are getting pushed back even further than that 2-month wait that Scout does, just because of that. So like Red Shift was one where
yeah, I do remember that one.
The break issues. The break ended up being longer. So, but I'm glad they're able to still make it happen. Yeah,
and again, I remember when I was digging through the pile, and I was like, oh, I kind of remember this book, and I think it's hard. I think people will get fooled a little bit by these covers, because it does kind of give off like, this is a little kid's book, but I think there's so much potential for people. I mean, I really enjoyed these first 2 issues. I like all the characters, and I know it's about to lead into some crazy stuff.
We're gonna get like some hefty battle scenes in that pulp style, and I can't wait.
It's gonna look so great. The artist on this book is amazing, and I can't remember who does it. Joel
Kotarja?
Kodihar?
That's probably how you say it.
I would recommend checking this book out.
Upsilly. And we have issue 1. So if you're like, I want to try it, we have issue 1 and 2 on the wall now. New title from AWA Upshot, which it's been a minute since we've said that. I don't know if it's because of the delays or if it's because they've just been working on this new wave of books, but for a while it was new title from AWA, new title from AWA,
Right.
new title from AWA, and now we've gotten to a point where that's kind of slowed down a little bit, and this week we have 2. So
Yes.
we're kind of seeing a ramp back up from AWA Upshot. And this is Out, which is a story about the time, like Nazi Germany. And we see a group of American soldiers being transported to a special facility where they are being told that, like they're going to be prisoners of this new facility because they're all kinds of people who've tried to escape before.
Right.
So as far as they know, they're being moved to this like high mountain prison that there's no getting out of because they continuously try to escape. And our main character is a Native American man who
Yes,
works
Comanche.
as a translator.
Right.
Which is, it's really cool to kind of see that story because we don't see it a lot. We don't talk about, all of the people who worked as translators during that time period. And the fact that even, like, the Americans are calling him a traitor at the beginning because they're like, oh, but you're talking German, so you must be a traitor. And he's like, but I'm doing it for America. Like,
Right.
I'm translating for the Americans. And, like, it still gets, like, so he's kind of outcasted from his own group that he's with and an outcast obviously like in the country that he's in. And did you read the letter in the back?
I didn't read the letter because it got to a point where I was pressed for time on trying to get these all done. Does it help with kind of understanding the story?
It does help. The writers at AWA always give a really good letter at the back of their first issue to kind of tell you like why they're writing the story and what their point of the story is, and where they're kind of going with it, because that first issue usually, first issues don't always tell you very much.
Right.
And so they do a really good job of explaining, for them, Out is a double entendre because it is about breaking out, but it's also like they mentioned that the main character is going to be LGBTQ, and they haven't had a chance to explore that yet in issue 1. So it's like, okay, well, so it does have a lot of different meanings to the idea of using Out. Plus, there's like the monster breaking out, that like the evil breaking out. But he also talks about how it was really important to write this story because a lot of the things that we think, oh, well, that happened back then and it could never happen now. And a lot of the things that, all of the emotional turmoil and things that people, language people use and attacks people use, like, we like to think, oh, well, it doesn't happen anymore. And he was like, it does still happen. And so this is a story that kind of can blend all of the things that we see now versus the things we saw then, versus like monsters versus and so it's going to be like a very nuanced level story that they're creating here, and I'm interested to see how they do it.
Yeah, now that because I can honestly say that as I was working through this book, I wasn't really into it. I was like, okay, I mean, another war book, there's going to be kind of something off here, something different. And then you kind of get to the end and you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be like a monster book.
Right.
But knowing that there are those extra layers to it, it's definitely more intriguing because you don't get very much character development. Because I feel like, especially too, when they get to the prison, there's a lot of those like characters that you see often in war movies where you're like, okay, I've seen this guy before. So there's definitely some of that in there, but knowing that there is going to be a lot of character development throughout this book and tied into the overall story, I think it does make it more appealing.
And I feel like that's a thing that AWA tries to do with this Upshot line, is that they take all of their first issues are like, hey, look at all these tropes. Here's the trope.
Yeah.
Trope story, trope story, trope story. And then you get to issue 2 and they're like, hey, remember all those tropes we just told you about? Well, now we're going to dissect them and turn them into different things. And I feel like a lot of their books do start that way, like very heavy, like, oh, this is that trope. Okay, well, you're a new publisher, so you're trying to, like, show me you can do that style now. And then they always kind of, like, blow that up a little bit within the next couple issues. And since they are all done in these small volumes of 4 or 5, books for the first volume, or like sometimes even the whole thing. It's like you get those turns like you do at Aftershock, where like by issue 3 you're like, oh you're gonna do this other thing now, and you get 4 and 5 is kind of like the deep dive into this other thing. And for them, I think instead of trying to get you hooked on something different and weird from the beginning, AWA seems to be like, okay, let me ease you in with something familiar and then turn it over and show you that the other, like the underbelly of that is not what you thought it was.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a good thing about the publishing.
Yeah, I haven't really been fully on board with the AWA stuff yet. More so because of the art, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to swing that way. Not All Robots is
it's
a
phenomenal
book that I've really enjoyed, and I do want to check out the time traveling book, Marjorie
Finnegan.
Yes.
Every time I read that book, I think it's a shame that you're not reading it.
I know. I need to hop on it. So maybe it's just time. I need to join the Bat City family and all this AWA love.
Yes.
Maybe it's just time I hop on board.
And speaking of, we'll do this since it's back to back. This is also from AWA Upshot. This is ETER, which is a ridiculous title once again, and we're going to go through a couple of ridiculous titles tonight.
Yes.
But this is multiple stories in one. There's more than one story in this book, which really confused me because I did not read the front of the book where it tells you that there's going to be more than one story in it.
Oh, okay.
And I read the first issue that's in the book, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I was like, oh, the art changed. Oh, we're in a different story now. So there's kind of not a good divide when you get to the two, if you're not paying attention. And but the first story in this is kind of Men in Blackish, where a lady works at a hospital, and she's a doctor, and she's trying to leave, and some guy like drives his car into the trees or the sidewalk or whatever, and as a doctor she takes him back inside, and then she finds out that he is in fact not a human, and they keep saying like, we need to take him down to the bottom floor, we need to take him down, and she's like, there is no lower floor, like this is the ground floor.
Right.
And she learns that there's like this MIB kind of base below where they treat aliens who are injured traveling through our space, like our system of the galaxy.
Okay.
And so it's very campy fun. Like it's not as like prolific as some of the things. Like this is just meant to be like entertaining, and it has that fun, like you see the weird aliens, and it's like, oh, you get jokes that I'm pretty sure were actually in Men in Black, like in this issue. And then the back issue, you get a different story about a different group of people who are working in this ETER. So it does kind of and it's different writers and different artists in all the different stories. So it's cool. You get to see a bunch of different people working on it. And each issue is going to kind of have that same thing where you get more than one story in it. So
okay. I like the art in this first issue, first story. It's very Daniel Clowes. Let me see if I can jump to the different art. Show it off.
Yeah, it's that backside.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, both books had some cool art.
I was when I saw the title, I haven't had a chance to read this one yet, but when I saw the title, I was really hoping it was just going to be ER but in space.
I thought that's what it was going to be, but
Yeah.
it's here on Earth, but we're still helping aliens.
Which I'm on board with. I kind of like it. I like that they're kind of talking about healthcare in a time when
Yes.
we should be applauding the healthcare industry for everything that they've done.
And there's definitely jokes about the healthcare system
Is there?
here. Like about the American healthcare system not being good to help them or whatever. There's definitely a couple of jokes here and there that kind of highlight that. And then, of course, some great call-outs to, like you said, like we need to make sure that we remember, like that the doctors and the medical people have been doing a lot to help people out. And they're like, you can actually, like, you wanted to become a doctor because you could save the world. Well, ETER, you actually are saving the world because you're keeping us from having aliens, like, blow up our planet.
Yeah, I definitely want to check this out. The art in this book is fantastic. So the first story is Javier Pulido, who I am familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've seen that name before. And then Sean Crystal's the art on the second one.
Nice.
So I gotta say, AWA is getting some good creators.
Yes.
Which I know they've had Straczynski this whole time, but I'm happy that they're getting more artists that are willing to come over.
Yeah, and since Chad brought it up, Chad said he's been dipping his toe in AWA with Telepaths. And Chad, cover your ears if you haven't already read it. But issue 2 of Telepaths is out. And speaking of J. Michael Straczynski, now that's the thing that was weird for me. J. Michael Straczynski has created the entire Resistance universe for AWA, which is all about people who got powers after a pandemic affected the entire world, and certain people who got the virus and didn't die got superpowers. And when this was announced, because it was J. Michael Straczynski, it's very similar art, and it's people who have superpowers, I was like, oh, this is just another group, like another story about the different people in the Resistance universe, because they've been doing that. It is not. It's not connected to that at all. It has a very similar feel, but it's not. There's actually like a solar flare that comes across the Earth, and it's so strong that it knocks out every human on the planet for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. And when they wake up, a certain amount of the population has the ability to read and control minds. Some read, some control, some both. And it's an interesting thing because like we're actually like one of the people is the main like press secretary for the president. And so she's with the president when it happens, and it's like, oh, so now somebody knows all of the president's secrets. Oh, wow. And there's this particular issue 2 follows a group of prisoners, and a couple of them wake up, and some of them have the ability to read minds, but one of them has the ability to control minds. And it's like, what happens now when prisoners can, like Charles Xavier, their way out of prison, essentially, and take over neighborhoods and things like that. And you get some cops, and you get just different people. One of the things that happened in this issue that I hadn't really thought about is the fact that if everybody in the world blacked out for 20 to 30 seconds, they talked about how many airplanes are in the air at a time, and like everybody blacked out. Yeah. And so it was such a crazy, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. So they're still dealing with, this is issue 2, so they're dealing with destruction levels and not even having time to deal with the fact that there are people who can read and control minds, because it's like the whole world is on fire, literally, at the moment. So it's really interesting, and it's J. Michael Straczynski, so the story gets like, there's a lot of conversation, there's a lot of narration, like it's a really deep written story, like there's a lot to read. You're not just, it's not one of those light books that you pick up and you're like, oh, I'm done. There's a lot of word bubbles.
Also, it's crazy to look at a book, we're in 2021, and you have a small press publishing company who has J. Michael Straczynski writing the book story and Steve Epting on art. Mm-hmm. That's impressive to me. Yeah. I mean, I think that's fantastic. So, I read issue 1. I missed this one, though. Yeah. I will have to read this one. Because that's just a fantastic creative team.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, welcome to the new indie revolution.
Yes.
Because
we're trying again.
Right. And we're doing a better job.
Well, there's not Rob Liefeld to come in and muddy the waters.
Ain't that true?
Yes. The 6 sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. This is easily one of my favorite books. I think I've said this multiple times. Although I have to be honest, this is the ultimate filler issue.
Oh my god, yeah.
If I've ever read one. Basically, this whole issue is a big giant fight between the sidekicks and a warehouse full of stuntmen.
It's utterly ridiculous.
And it is. It's absurd because it doesn't push the narrative forward in any way. This was just like, hey, we should do a bunch of action sequences with these goofy characters. And I had a lot of fun. I mean, I definitely enjoyed this issue, even though there's not really much to it. Mm-hmm. But again, like I'm sitting here waiting to know who did it.
Right.
You know, that's really the only reason I'm reading this.
And if you don't know, 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton, it's all about an actor named Trigger Keaton who is in on the action movies. He's kind of like the Chuck Norris of this universe. Mm-hmm. And he is murdered. And the police call in all of his former sidekicks because all of them get kicked off their show, or their show gets ended because of triggers. So, of course, they're all suspects. And they end up, when the police are just like, well, guess it's a suicide. I don't know. The sidekicks decide it's up to them to figure out who actually killed Trigger. And so they've been on their own investigation of what can best be described as a parody of a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
And because of the fact that they are actually all these former sidekicks and actors in these cheesy action movies, it's actually not surprising that you get this issue that has just this ridiculous fight scene, because the whole time we've been learning that they were in these movies that had these ridiculous fight scenes.
Right.
So it's like, well, if you're gonna do this story accurate, like, there's gotta be a ridiculous fight scene. And the whole time we've heard that the stunt people don't like the actors because they, like, Trigger Keaton treated them badly, and so they've tied all the actors into the same, like, they've lumped them all together, and it's like, well, actors don't treat stunt people properly. So there's this ultimate war, and we actually see this battle, like, come to play in this issue.
Yeah. Which, again, I think it fits with where this was going. They've been kind of hinting at this little battle that's going to be taking place, and you actually get to see it.
Yeah, and if you would have come in snapping your fingers with planned choreography before you started this fight, I would not have been surprised either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm still on the fence about whether or not this is going to wrap up soon.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to go. I don't know how long you could keep it going. And we're 5 issues in, and we're on a filler issue. And so it's not, like, it's like, is it only going to be 1 or 2 more? Is it going to be 10 issues? I could see it being 10.
Yeah.
I could see it being 8, because you can stop at 8 for a trade.
Right.
And so I could see them, because I don't think that, to me, unless this goes on for a really long time and they really expand this universe somehow, which I don't really see how they would, I can't see people buying 2 trades.
Yeah.
I see you doing it, like, episodically and trying to solve the mystery, but I think that if you needed 2 trades to tell the story, it wouldn't necessarily work as well unless there's some expansion to the story.
Right. And I do feel like when I was looking through the recent previews catalog, I saw the trade paperback solicited in there.
And I haven't looked at it yet, but I need to this week, because it's due this week.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I will be looking at it this week. But if it's solicited in this month's previews catalog, then that means it's not even coming out until January, February. So
Right. So maybe 1 more issue and then the trade?
We'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
Up next is Bountiful Garden. We talked about how sci-fi books and, like, space books are really coming up big. We've seen a lot of them recently. After issue 1 on this one, I was like, oh, that was really interesting. I'm curious to see where this goes. And after reading this, I was like, this book is way more than I thought it was going to be.
Same, because I was definitely on the fence.
Yeah.
After that first issue, I was like, okay, I kind of see where this is going, a horror book in space.
Right.
But there wasn't really enough, and now they kind of throw a little bit at you to where you're like, okay, whoa, now I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, and this is a Mad Cave book. Talk about a publisher we don't talk about a lot. And again, like Phil said, like with issue 1, I was kind of like, okay, you know, I'm kind of like we were just talking about with AWA. I was like, oh, I've seen this before. Cool. Right. I know where you're going. And then this issue, and I was like, and you're not going to do a very deep dive into this. And then this issue came out, and I was like, oh, no. We just give every character a little bit of a backstory, like through twisted, like, bits of information. We raised the stakes to everything up, like, 5 notches. And like, now there's this, like, loomingness of something to come that is, especially by the end of this issue, like, I need to know what that is.
Yeah.
Like, really badly.
And the thing is, though, is, like, I want to know what it is, but I kind of almost, for this book in particular, because it's, like, art style, it's very dark and ominous, and there's at times where I'm like, wait, what am I looking at exactly here? I kind of want them to hold off on what it is.
Yeah.
Like, as much as by the next issue, because I feel like by the next issue we are going to have a better understanding of kind of what's going on here. But I also want them to try and drag out whatever this is. Like, save the monster reveal till the end.
And when it comes to movies, 99% of the time, I never want to see your monster.
Correct.
So if we did this book and we never saw the monster or whatever it is that's the evil entity chasing, like, these kids through space, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, I would 100% be happy to get to an issue 5 or 6 of this story and have no earthly idea what just happened. Like, in the same way that we talk about Bunny Mask and how I'm like, I have more questions, and yet every time I have more questions, I like the issue more. I would be okay with, and then everything just ends, and we don't know what it is, and I'm just supposed to be terrified of space.
Yeah. And I would actually be fully on board with that. If someone came to me and was like, oh, you know, did it end? Did it give you everything you needed? No, but I don't think I needed it.
Yeah. And
I think a little bit less here. And I thoroughly enjoy the art in this book.
yes.
It definitely plays up to it just fits so well with the themes of this book. And I'm on board.
Yeah.
Whereas I wasn't in issue 1.
I am now.
I am.
Yeah. Good job, Mad Cave.
Yes. It's been a while since I feel like we've talked about a Mad Cave book.
It has been, and I think that if they did more of these, and this is something to talk about our indie revolution that we're talking about. When I have people who haven't been in comics in a while come in, they'll say like, "Oh, has Image put out anything recently?" And I'm like, "Well, Image is putting out books all the time, but Image like." It's kind of like, I always say, like, the big, like, the Marvel and DC are the tip of the iceberg, and then, like, comics is the massive thing that, like, you know, is underneath the water. But, like, Image is that water. Like, Image is the level of ice that's at the water. Like, if you think of Marvel and DC as, like, the peak of the iceberg, then Image is that little bit that still sits right on the surface of the water that you think, like, oh, this is as far as it goes. And everybody else is the thing underneath the water. And something that people always say is like, well, I don't really get into indie books because, like, they don't have, like, strong stories. And that has been the case in some of the past situations where, like, yeah, like, there wasn't a lot of storytelling in some of the aspects, but that's definitely not the case now.
Definitely.
In the same sense of, like, the iceberg is massive underneath, it's deep.
Yes.
And indie books are definitely proving that that's what they are. And if there's a genre of books or TV shows or movies that you enjoy, there's a comic book that matches that. And if there is a level of depth that or storytelling or any of that you're like, I really need my books to have a lot of words, I need them to have a lot of, you know, meaning, a lot of nuance, like, that's there.
Yeah.
Or if you're like, I just want it to be fun and flip through it as fast as possible, that's there too. It's a spectrum that you can definitely find anything on. And I think that as people start to pick up more and more of these books, they're going to continue to see that.
I definitely noticed that there's times where I'll post something either on Instagram or I'll be talking about something at work, and I'll just give an elevator pitch. These are people who've never been into a comic book store, and they're like, whoa, comics are about that stuff now? And it's like, oh, yeah, it's about everything.
It's all of it.
Yeah.
I do that too. I think the thing I repeat the most in the store when people come in and they're like, oh, I don't like superheroes. I'm like, do you go to a bookstore and say I don't like nonfiction? Because it's the same thing.
Right.
Like, there's this massive section in a store of, like, cooking books and nonfiction titles and all of that. But most of the store is full of fiction books of all the genres. And, like, that's where you are now. Like, come, find your genre.
Yes.
Like, find your story. And I guess, speaking of ridiculous things that happen, Matt, cover your ears, because Gods of Brutality issue 2 came out this week, and oh my gosh, talk about a ridiculous book that I laugh and can't stop reading. I can't look away.
And I mean, it's very obvious from the solicitations that you need this story. It's a rock star who was sent to hell and is now trying to be saved and escape from hell with the help of Hercules and Thor, and they are not the Hercules and Thor that you are familiar with. They're bratty, spoiled, they're whiny, just way too much testosterone. it's absurd.
I read Rick Riordan. Those are the Hercules and Thor I'm familiar with.
Oh, they're not for me. They're definitely not the ones that I remember. Well, I mean, I guess really Hercules, the only knowledge of Hercules I have is from the Disney movie.
And the Marvel comics?
No, and then the Kevin Sorbo TV show from back in the day. But as a kid, I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, oh, who's this guy with a sword who's a badass?
Right.
But I don't remember him being like whiny or complaining. But
until you got to real life. Anyway.
Well, that's a whole other topic.
And, but I do like that, like, because that's, to me, like, Hercules and Thor are kind of the epitome of, like, these over hyper masculine characters who are just, like, who have a lot of issues and always are fighting each other. And, this is definitely those characters, but it's also in the same sense of, like, this is the, like, archetype of these characters that I know. This is also the archetype of a hair metal, like, rock star that I know.
Yeah, most definitely. He fits everything that you would expect, you know, kind of giving off this, like, oh, I'm totally awesome and amazing and everything, but deep down inside, they have no idea what he's doing. Also, you get were-ants.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to spoil it, but that's the cover of the book, and it says it. They're Russian were-ants.
Yes.
They're not even just were-ants, they are Russian were-ants, and that is all somehow important to the story. And, like, the cover tagline is, like, Russian were-ant rampage! And I'm like, I love this book, because it's so dumb and so good all at the same time. And I love even where he, in the one scene where he's like, and this is where I should have learned my lesson, but I learned nothing. And I didn't. And I was like, I love that they are acknowledging that. Like, hey, this is a bad character, and he is surrounded by even, like, worse people, and he is not getting the message at all, even in hell.
Which is great, too, because he kind of is through this going to become the unlikely hero.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, because this is where you start to see the character development in the main character, and you're like, oh, okay, now I want to root for you. You know, in issue 1, you're like, I don't care if you get stuck in hell forever. You kind of suck.
You kind of deserve it.
And now you're like, well, maybe not.
Right, like, he's going to learn something.
Yes.
Like, and I love that, because in the moment you're thinking he's going to learn something is in the moment where he's like, and I didn't learn a thing.
Yes.
But you know that by him saying that he obviously does at some point, because he has the foresight to think, or the backwards insight to think that he should have learned something there. So, it's absolutely great. If you've not picked it up, we do have issue 1, maybe. I think we have a couple of issue 1s left, but this is a Black Caravan title, so this is another one of those scout titles that had the 2-month wait period, and I have been very much anticipating this second issue to see exactly where they went, and talk about great art.
Yes, the art in this book, Mark Welser is doing a fantastic job. The ultra violence in this book hits all the feels for me. I love it. I'm enjoying it, and this is one I'm definitely going to keep reading without question.
Yeah. New title from Oni Press, Not for Kids.
Not for kids.
Which is a weird thing to say. New title from Oni Press that has nothing to do with children. Usually I feel like I can, like, give most Oni Press books to kids and teens. This one is not that. And this is Bag Rapture.
Yes, great title.
Great title.
Should be a band name, for sure.
In the Homesick Pilots universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. And it would be cool if this crossed over.
Oh my god, yeah, it would.
With Homesick Pilots, because it could.
It could.
It really could. I saw this title, and I thought, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. Even first couple pages, I was like, wait, what? And then, yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah. It's all about a girl who overdoses and comes back and is able to talk to ghosts in that Sixth Sense kind of way, except she doesn't want to.
Right.
And she's not happy about it, and not in the little kid sort of way, in the I'm going to do more drugs and drink more alcohol to get you to leave me alone, and then also then charges Ghost for her assistance.
Yes, as she refers to herself as a hotel and a delivery service. And she's basically just helping ghosts who died in one place go and haunt a place that they would prefer to haunt, which I think is a really great concept. To me, I mean, and I could be wrong, feels like a story I've never read before.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot of new pieces to the puzzle. Even the things that, like, you kind of are familiar with, they are, you know, because there's, like, no new idea, there's no new stories, no new way to tell them. Like, this definitely falls in that category of, like, yeah, I've probably seen people do the ghost, like, passaging thing and, like, the helping thing. But she's such a fresh take on a character in that world that it feels completely different.
Right.
And the stuff that she's going to go through from here on is definitely going to be a story that keeps you coming back each issue.
Yeah, and you can tell by the end of this issue they're definitely going to open this world up, and there's definitely going to be more layers on top of this, and I think it's worth checking out because the character, even though the main character, even though she's kind of a bit of an asshole, she tries really hard in this issue to tell you she's not an asshole,
while consistently proving that she is one.
Yes. Yes. She's definitely enjoyable to be around because, you know, these are people who are trying to, now being dead, trying to go through, you know, not being alive anymore. And she just kind of messes with them.
Yeah, she just does not care.
Yeah, she really doesn't. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, I like that she's like, look, this is new for you, but I've been doing this for a long time and you all get on my nerves.
Yeah. And I like the concept that, like, it's an actual hotel in her mind where these people can go and hang out. And I really hope they explore this concept of, like, people being inside of her and, like, knowing her secrets and the knowledge of her life. So, yeah, I definitely... I think this is a really cool story. I like the art, too. Some of the pages I was showing kind of have a different color tint to them, and I really like that.
And there's a reason for it, which I love when the colors affect the story. I know you're a fan of Eighth Immortal as well, and that was a big one where color was like the use of the color. It was an all black and white book, other than those like important color pieces. And this does that with pastels, which is really cool.
Oh, the pastels. More of that in comics, please.
Yes. Speaking of funny things.
Yes, Snelson. Comedy is Dying. This is Ahoy Comics. Another one we don't talk about all that often outside of Second Coming. This is a story about a canceled comedian who finds out he has cancer. And it is kind of him trying to deal with the news that he has cancer and what he's going to do with that information as a comedian. And as you would expect, society has flipped back into his favor because he has cancer. And I feel like we've seen that in kind of reality as well.
We see that a lot with celebrity culture. Like, when a celebrity passes, we aren't allowed to talk about, like, the bad stuff they do anymore. They did that, like, why they were canceled or why it was like, oh, this is this person isn't somebody that we should look up to, and then they pass away or they get sick, and it's like, well, you can't say that anymore.
Right.
And it's like, but they still did those things. Like, we still need to remember that, like, they weren't a hero or they weren't a good person. Like, and this kind of has that same kind of conversation. It's like, he's like, well, I'm still a bad person, but all these people now look up to me.
Right. And the people that are around him are kind of saying, like, this is your chance to kind of regain that fame that you once had. And I don't remember what the other book was. That was a comedy book where I was like, oh, they don't ever tell the jokes.
Knock 'em dead.
And it kind of annoys me. Whereas this one, they do let him tell the jokes. And I do appreciate that. I think this book is hilarious in so many ways because it's also a little bit of commentary on comedy itself.
Absolutely.
Which I enjoy. And this book is about to turn and change everything.
Yes.
With the way it ends. So... yeah, it's definitely taking that next step into something completely different. There's also this random scene in this book, which I'm showing here, where he's getting yelled at by an editor, and in the background, the dog is eating its own poop and vomiting from it, and no one's paying attention to the dog at all. And at first, you don't really notice it, but then you kind of go back and you're like, wait,
what just happened?
Why am I watching this dog? Like, what purpose does this serve to the story? And I'm going to leave it there because the rest of this is kind of, it would spoil what's to come.
And I just did a TikTok video today for our TikTok talking about Small Press Halloween, which is our celebration of small press comics. And we talked about Ahoy. Today's video was about Ahoy, and the thing for them is that they actually wanted to bring in poetry and prose into comics. So the back of every Ahoy book ever has always had multiple prose or poetry submissions in it. And some will come from big name creatives, and some come from, up and coming creatives to kind of give you like some other storytellers and some different forms of storytelling. And so every issue has 3 or 4 of these, as well as illustrators doing some art to go with 1 or 2 of those to kind of highlight more people and more styles of writing than the comic itself would do. So it's kind of cool because every Ahoy comic does come with that. So you get a couple of like extra stories at the back of your book.
Yeah, I would check this one out. I think it's gonna end probably after 1 volume.
Yeah, usually.
But I'm definitely intrigued to see where this goes.
Mm-hmm. I am more intrigued as the story goes on than I thought I would be at issue 1. For sure. Yeah,
you definitely seemed kind of like... Because I think after that first issue, I was the only one that read it, right?
I read it and was like, it wasn't really my thing. Like, he's not really my favorite.
Issue 3.
And then, I was like, I don't really know. So I was like, I'll let you talk about it because I know, you have more of, like, the appreciation of it being somebody who's into comedy and things. And then after I read issue 2, I was like, okay, maybe, like, where are we going with this? And honestly, like, this one was really the one that I'm like, okay, I'd read issue 4. Yeah. Because now where he is going with this, I want to see how this plays out.
Yes. Yeah. The story's definitely going to ramp up into some very interesting stuff.
Absolutely. Speaking of things I want to see play out, Lucky Devil.
Yes.
From Dark Horse Comics and Cullen Bunn.
Yes. I think we have both stated that this is his best title currently on the shelves.
Yes.
And I still feel that way.
It is still the best Cullen Bunn title currently on the shelves.
It is, yes. 3 issues in, and I'm still willing to continue. I don't really know where this is going, but kind of also at the same time think I know. Mm-hmm. But there's parts in this book that are very appealing to me. There's a few side characters that I like more than the main character. Absolutely. But I do think it's a fun book so far. Yeah. It's a fun read. It's interesting concept. It's what if a guy went through a very crappy exorcism, and the demon was exorcised, but he kept the demon's powers, and he decides to use that power to essentially wage war against heaven and hell. Yes. By forming his own cult.
And also does it through self-help seminars.
Yes. Very think if imagine Tony Robbins.
That's what I was going to say.
Was given powers of a demon. And he decided to, instead of helping you build yourself up, more so build yourself up, but in a war against what we've always perceived to be right and wrong, and, kind of like a, what has religion really done for us, kind of mentality. But yeah, I've I've been enjoying this book. I think the art is really great. I think that's definitely beneficial to the story as well. And like other Dark Horse books, I don't think this is going to last longer than 5 issues.
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah, because I definitely feel like we're heading towards whatever that final act is.
Absolutely.
So hopefully, Cullen Bunn will wrap this up appropriately.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We can only hope. Red Shift from Scout. This is issue 3. I'm going to do this actually pretty quickly because we've got issue 1 and 2 in so far. This is another one of the sci-fi books that keeps, coming out with this whole idea of like space. And we've seen this story is all about a young boy whose mother was chosen for this mission that took you out like into deep space from the space station that they already live on, and she never returned. And then when he was in his space training program, he ends up having an accident happen and losing somebody on his team and having all this stuff happen. So he's like completely against going into space to do more exploration. But they pick a girl who's new, like a newer cadet and hasn't been through all the training, and that's who they decide they're going to send out on this space mission. And he goes to tell them that like that's a terrible idea, and they end up just like shoving him into the thing and making him go too.
Oh, okay.
And so now he's on this space mission that he didn't sign up for, hoping to be helpful to this girl, and she of course doesn't want it because she's been like the chosen one by the people in the academy to go on this mission. And he's like, this mission is a death sentence, like nobody should ever come on this mission. And now they've just hit the point where they're in this dangerous, like they're starting to hit that danger that has led them to the points where like nobody's ever come back from here, or bad things have happened. And he's just trying, all he wants is to make sure that she survives, because he doesn't want to lose another one of the like younger teammates that he feels like he should be protecting. So you've got a lot of that like burden of your family, but also like burden of like saving people on him. And he's kind of trying to deal with that, but also like literally he was not signed up for this mission. And the system is like, you're not even supposed to be here. Like even the computer doesn't know why he's there. So it's one of those that's also ramping up as it goes along. With issue 1, I was like, it's kind of like an okay story. I'm not really sure. Issue 2, I was a little more drawn in. And this issue, we're finally starting to see the two characters interact a little bit. And we're getting to see their backstory and how their narratives are going to twine together. And so it's definitely pushing the story further along in a good way. This has been one of those books, though, that I can't keep on the shelf.
Interesting.
Yeah, I did not anticipate that. I actually, when Scout and Aftershock and a lot of the titles like that, publishers like that put out new books, a lot of times I'll buy 10 to 15 just automatically of issue 1. Just to kind of get people excited about it and see, just in case they might like it. And with this one, those issues sat on the wall for a really long time. And like I said, issue 2 got delayed from the publishing delay. So it had its 2 months and then it got delayed anymore. And when issue 2 came out, I noticed I actually didn't have any, like I had like issue 1 maybe left. And people were still asking for it. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. I didn't anticipate. When did everybody fall in love with this book? And I had a subscriber in here just last week, and somebody was like, what's a really good book right now? And he was like, oh, man, I really love Red Shift. And I was like, when did this happen? Wow. I'm so excited to hear that everybody did. But when? Yeah. When did this happen? Like, I haven't heard anybody talk about it. And yet now I have, like, a group of subscribers who are like, hey, did I get my new issue of Red Shift this week? And I'm like, I love that this is something that's suddenly blowing up. Because it is an interesting story. And I think that we are seeing a lot of the sci-fi genre, like a lot of these space stories really start to sell again.
Which is nice, too, because I felt like there was a little bit of a lull there. Where I was like, yes, there's some sci-fi books coming out, but there's not really anything that's lived up to, like a saga. Yeah. Right? Not saying that something like Red Shift will, but at the same time, it's nice to see people coming in and being really intrigued by science fiction in particular.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Red Shift, check it out from the Scout. I guess I'll stick with Scout. This is By the Horns, and this is issue 6, and this is a silent issue. And I am always drawn to silent issues of comic books, which is weird because I write them, so it's weird that I would be drawn to the ones without words in them. But when I opened this up and I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that's great. This is a fantasy world, talking about your saga style, like, fantasy level. This is a fantasy story where a girl has been on this mission to destroy all the unicorns for years of her life because she thinks that unicorns killed her husband, and so she has like this vendetta against them. But as she's on this mission to determine, like, to destroy all the unicorns, she's starting to learn that, like, maybe the unicorns have been manipulated by this, like, evil, like, sorcerer type person. And this is actually the story of her husband finding their, like, pet fox kind of character. It's kind of a fox, kind of like a fox with horns. I don't really know what you call it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that was weird. Okay, I was like, no, I don't want to hear myself in the speaker. That's weird. It was they find, it's like the story of the guy finding the animal and then, like, getting close to the animal and, like, loving, like, he finds his pet essentially, and then within, like, their time together, then he comes to find her, and then it's like, so it's the whole story of how she met him all the way through his death, which we have not seen at all in this story yet. And how she ends up on her path. And so it's such a beautiful, just like, it's almost like in movies when the partner dies, you always see them sitting there watching the movie of, like, their wedding and all the home videos, and the sound's not on, you just see them, like, crying over it. This is the sitting there and crying over the sad home videos issue of this, and without a single word in it, you get all of the emotion, and you're sad. Like, you see, when it gets to the point where he dies, you're like, oh my god, that was so sad. Like, and you know he's dead. He's been dead since before issue 1 started. Like, we already knew that, but you still, like, find yourself like, oh my god, I can't believe he just died. Like, and it's like, well, of course he just died.
Yeah.
Like, that was the whole point.
Yeah, we've known.
But it's such a well done story, and all done through art, and that always makes it really great.
Well, I am always a big fan of the silent issue. I'm intrigued. I also really like the art in this book. Yeah,
I love her outfit, and she is a badass, and so I've been a fan of this book since the beginning just because of how much of a badass she is. And then, like, the animal that she travels with, the one that the husband had, kind of reminds you a little bit of Lion Cat in the saga sense, because it does kind of call her out on her emotions and stuff like that, and kind of keeps her in check. So you do get a little bit of those sentiments through that as well. Goma says, when's the last time we had a really good sci-fi movie, and what do you consider the best sci-fi movie of all time?
All time?
Yeah, that's a question I don't know the answer to.
An extremely weighted question. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to even think of, like, the last sci-fi movie I watched.
Right. What'd you say?
Forbidden Planet.
Forbidden Planet.
Would you say of all time, though?
Yeah.
Wow.
Precursor to Star Wars.
And Robbie the Robot.
True, yes.
If y'all didn't hear Matt, he said Forbidden Planet because he kind of, like, said it quietly.
And those shots.
It is a really well-shot film for the time period.
Yeah. And Matt got that Robbie the Robot for Christmas last year. If you haven't been in the store when he has it out, you should ask him to bring out his Robbie the Robot because he's happy to show you.
I also have one.
You have one too?
Yes.
I didn't mean you. I meant them. But yeah.
Well, the moment Matt showed me that it existed and it was only $15, I went out.
Did I buy you yours?
Yes. Yeah. You went and found it for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You like.
Yeah. Okay. So I wouldn't say of all time, but I do go around and tell everyone I think this is the best science fiction movie in at least the past 20 years. And that is Arrival. With Amy Adams.
Amy Adams.
I think that is one of the best alien-based movies that I've seen in a while. I really like the way that they approach it. I think it's very different. It's really well shot. And I remember walking out of that movie being like, oh my god, this is one of the best I've seen. If you have not seen that movie, it's done by the guy who's doing Dune. He's the director. I don't want to say his name because it's very hard to say.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, he did Blade Runner 2049. He's done a handful of really good movies.
I can't even think of the last sci-fi movie I like. I know they exist, but now that I'm on the spot, I'm like, have I seen a sci-fi movie?
Does Tenet count?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I didn't know it was science fiction. I didn't even know what it was about.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, no idea.
Pattinson's in it too.
Right.
Yeah, let us know yours, because I could use some science fiction recommendations.
Yeah, Chad said Attack the 50-Foot Woman. I mean, the poster is everywhere in the background of tons of shows and films. He said he likes Arrival. It reminds him of the elements of Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-5.
Yeah.
And Gomez says, does War of the Worlds count as sci-fi? 100%, because that's an alien.
Are we talking about the Tom Cruise one?
Or, I mean, just in general.
Fanning.
Right?
Orson Welles.
Yeah, I was like, any of them best. Oh!
No, just kidding.
Richie said Iron Giant, which is also a great choice. Yes. I like it. Cool. While y'all keep talking about what your favorite sci-fi movies are, we're going to give you a poster.
There was an old animated movie, and it wasn't...
Prize! Go ahead.
It wasn't Disney, but it was kind of in that same vein, and I can't remember what it was called. They had great toys, and it was kind of like a space treasure hunting movie.
Treasure Planet?
No, that is a good one, too. Then maybe I'm mixing the two. I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Disney movie?
I don't think it was, but it kind of was same
Animated?
art style as Disney.
Right, in that
90s.
case, does Fern Gully count as a sci-fi?
That's fantasy.
I know. I was like, because if Fern Gully counts, they're trying to... Ooh, Wall-E. That's a good choice, Gomez.
Yeah, Wall-E's a good one.
We're going to give you this Monsters Unleashed poster, and I'm going to hold that for a second while you grab the other thing, because you're also going to get a ticket to be entered in to win this Amazing Spider-Man 700, and I'm going to give you this poster back. So you don't win the Amazing Spider-Man 700 if you get this question right, but you do get a ticket to be entered into the drawing to win this Amazing Spider-Man 700. You'll also get this Monsters Unleashed poster, which has this really cool dinosaurs on it, and who doesn't need a picture of dinosaurs to hang in their house? And since we're kind of going with the zombies and vampires and monsters theme of the night, the question is, let's see, what do I want to ask you? No, that's a hard question. Who is the main narrator in DC's Deceased comics? The original series of Deceased, who is the main narrator? So you can start naming some DC characters that might actually narrate things, and that would be great. Phil, they want to know, are you talking about Titan AE?
Yes.
Chad nailed it.
Chad, thank you. Phenomenal animated movie.
Yeah. And Ram said Star Wars Return of the Jedi and the Phantom Menace are two of his favorite sci-fi movies. So good choices. And the question to win this poster and a ticket to be entered into the drawing to win Amazing doesn't matter because BJ already got it. So yes, BJ, it was Lois Lane. Lois Lane narrates the first volume of Deceased. So BJ, we're gonna add you into the drawing for Amazing Spider-Man 700, and you're gonna get this Monsters Unleashed poster. So. Cool. BJ. Bum-ba-dum. Cool. Yes. Lois Lane should narrate all things. Just for the record.
Agreed.
Alright, so we're going to do some picks of the week. And I did some shuffling around while we were talking about other books because there was a lot of new books this week. And I was like, we're going to mix them up and move some of them around. So, throwing into the picks of the week is Maneaters the Cursed. Honestly and truthfully, I just need to tell you that Maneaters by Chelsea Kane is always a pick of the week.
Yes.
This is a fantastic book. This is a new story, so if you read the previous Maneaters, great. If you didn't, doesn't matter. It does still star the same young girl from the original Maneaters, but it doesn't necessarily connect. And now she is at a summer camp. She's at summer craft camp. But craft does not stand for arts and crafts. It stands for witchcraft. And all of the campers, she wakes up one morning and all the campers have disappeared except for her. and all of the campers from the boys' football camp down the island have also disappeared except for one, and he is suddenly inside the bounds of craft camp, and they are trying to figure out what happened, and she has to use all of the things that she's learned in witchcraft camp to save the people on the island. I love this ad. This is an ad for the perfect like camping shorts, and it talks about like the different kinds of pockets, and like there's like a place to hide what is it? Hang on. Oh, Matt's gonna like not get close. It's a place to hide your headlamp. That's what it is. There's a headlamp pocket, and then there's a backup headlamp pocket.
Oh my god.
And there's a place to hide your spell books, and there's a place like there's something for like each and everything, like a poncho pocket. Like it's, and they look like just regular like tie-dye shorts with no pockets, but then they like this ad is like, these are the perfect camp shorts, and I love it because everybody wears like tie-dye camp like shorts and stuff to camp. But that's my favorite thing Chelsea Kane and team do with this medium is, or with these books, is that they play with the medium, and they're constantly making weird ads and handouts and brochures. The issue prior to this was actually just the craft camp handbook, and it was all about like witchcraft through the ages through craft camp, and it was hilarious. So if you haven't picked it up, I definitely recommend all things Maneaters. Because it's a fantastic series, and I'm glad Chelsea Kane keeps finding new ways to bring it back.
Yeah, I do. I haven't read this one yet because I haven't finished the full Maneaters run. I didn't know there was a volume 3, but I do enjoy what Chelsea Kane does. Also, the ad on the back
It's
about
fantastic.
the wind chimes. Nothing is more romantic than wind chimes, which is so dumb.
Which is great.
So dumb. I highly recommend checking it out, especially if you enjoy some fake advertisements.
And the best thing is that there is a tie-in even to Spy Island in here, because they constantly talk about sand flea repellent.
Yes.
And so even those shorts come with a pocket for your sand flea repellent. Also, this is the best. I don't know if you saw this. This is a craft camp voodoo doll. It's a papered voodoo doll. So you can build your own voodoo doll for destroying the patriarchy. And you can cut it out and make your own paper doll to destroy the patriarchy.
So, which means as collectors, you need 2 copies
Right. So
of this book. One that you don't mess with, and
Right.
then one you can cut out.
I love it. It's fantastic. There's also a list of all the badges you can get at craft camp, and it's like got the tracking sheet so you can see where she's tracking it. I love this book so much. But yeah, the sand fleas have come to this story, so you get little Spy Island like nods in it as well.
If we could build a Chelsea
Kane
universe, I couldn't remember if it was Kane or Crane for some reason. If we could just build a universe for her and have all of her books come together in like a crossover style at the end, that's what I want.
Like Mockingbird shows up to save the day in this.
Oh gosh, please.
Let's do it. Chelsea Kane, we'll buy it if you make it.
Yes.
If you build it, we will definitely come.
Yes.
Mamo, this is literally just a Miyazaki movie turned into a comic book, and I'm 100% here for it at all times. This is issue 4. It is all about a young girl who is next in line to be the town witch, and she doesn't want to be, and her grandmother passes away, which means she is now the village witch, and she has run away, and she gets pulled back to the town and has to work with another girl to solve the mystery of what is causing all of this destruction in the village. And she ends up like having to chase down the bones of like her grandmother, because again, it's a Miyazaki film, so there's gotta be the weird darkness to like the otherwise like normal storytelling. And as she's like recovering them so that she can give like a proper burial so that the witch like no longer haunts the village, she ends up trapping herself here as the new witch, and she knows that that's going to happen if she continues it on. And we're in issue 4, and we've come to the point where she's having that like, I don't want to get stuck here, like I hate this, I hate you, I hate all of this. It's a boom book, so just know that it's like perfect.
It is a boom box book.
It's a boom box book, which means it's for teens.
Yes.
It's the teen line of Boom, and teen or adult or even kid. That's the thing about Boombox, is it falls right in that spot that's good for everybody. And it's so great. Like, you get the crows coming in and providing like little extra characters. Like, we learn stuff from the crows, we learn stuff from the other people of the community. It really does just feel like you're watching a Miyazaki film on every page.
Right. Yeah, I do enjoy...
What issue?
This
It's
is
4.
Issue 4. I do enjoy the art in this book. It's very fantastic. This is going to be a trade one for me, I think, because I think after I didn't pick up issue 2, you kept telling me why I need to be reading this book, and you're like, I don't understand why you won't listen. And of course, I realized that is my mistake from straying from the path. And this is definitely worth it, especially if you keep saying it's a Miyazaki movie.
Yeah, and it really does. It feels like, in the way it looks like Kiki's delivery service, and in the same way that, like, Kiki is like, I want to go out on my own, and I want to start my, like, I want to be a witch, and I want to do good. This is, like, the opposite. She's like, I want to go out on my own because I don't want to be a witch, and I don't want to be assigned to a village. And so this is, like, what if Kiki didn't want to be a witch? Like, where's the girl that didn't want that? And here she is, and it's so good. And in that same way, you get these, like, layers to the story, and it's like the crows that call, like, her out on it, and they're like, we know what you're thinking, and we know who you are, and, like, they call them by their full name, because in magic, names are powerful, so you're constantly getting that, like, full name, and these, like, threats and darkness, but, like, it's also light and happy at the same time. So good.
I feel like this is a book that's going to evoke a lot of emotions in general.
Yes.
Maybe some tears at some point.
For sure.
Some joy. A little bit of horror, maybe. Some dark forces.
There's some darkness in there. Some darkness. But in the same way, like Miyazaki does, where, like, Spirited Away, where you're like, that was really dark, but, like, also it was kind of just Alice in Wonderland. Here's a book for you from Scoot.
Yes, The Ninja Scouts and the Mask of Humbaba. This is a Scoot title, so it is more of a children's book, and it is exactly what the title suggests.
It's exactly what the title suggests.
Imagine that instead of giving Boy Scouts... I wouldn't even say Boy Scouts.
Hey, girl or Boy Scouts,
Scouts. We'll just say Scouts in general. Instead of teaching them how to camp, we train them to be ninjas.
Or other things.
Yes, there are... Yes, I totally forgot. There's also Pirate Scouts in this book, which I'm hoping at some point we see a Pirate Scouts.
We need more of the Pirate Scouts. I want that. My spinoff that I want is I want the Pirate Scouts to be friends with the Hinch Otters from Killer Queens.
Yes.
Like, I need the Pirate Scouts to go on to hire the Hinch Otters and go raid space.
I'm on board for that.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. But this book, you have the Ninja Scouts who are kind of out there trying to protect the world from anything and everything, including supernatural elements.
Yeah.
Here you kind of get the like Indiana Jones, like old school, like having an artifact tied into some kind of supernatural thing. And honestly, I was kind of nervous at first when I was reading this because they kind of like immediately jump into it and kind of beat what you thought was going to be the villain of the book. But then it kept going, and I was like, oh wait, did they just rush this really quickly?
Yeah.
How's the rest of this issue going to play out? And I think it did really well.
Yeah, it did really well. And I was surprised because I thought the same thing. I was like, they kind of took the idea of like kids lit like too seriously, and they tried to like, I felt like they were like, I was like, oh, did they like, like water it down? And then I was like, oh no, that was just Act 1. Okay. Okay, cool.
Here's your Pirate Scouts.
I love them. I love that they're like, we don't help, we're Pirate Scouts. That's not what we do. Like, we're not trained in that capacity.
Which I'm curious, like, I understand training them to be ninjas, but what parent was like, let's train them to be pirates?
So
they don't learn good morals.
I know a lot of people who play pirates at like Ren fairs, so they might have like been like, "Oh, pirate scouts, that sounds fun." I love how the parents are just in on it though. Like when the one girl, the ninja scout, is like, "Well, I have to go because there's a mask that's like we stopped a demon earlier, and now we have to worry about the mask being stolen by pirates." And the mom's like, "Okay, well, let me know if you're not going to make it home by 9." I was like, "What? Okay." It was like, I don't know if this mom is like in on it or if this mom's just like, "What a fun adventure you kids are having."
Yeah.
Like, whichever one it is, I love it either way.
Yeah, I am kind of bummed that this is a one-shot.
Yeah, me too.
I do hope that at some point maybe they come back
well,
to
they
it.
will come back because Scoot does this thing, if you want to flip it around, called Frontiers, which is kind of like little anthology of kids' books. We do have one of them already on the shelf, and Ninja Scouts will have another story in the next issue of Frontiers.
Oh, okay.
So Ninja Scouts are coming back. Their next adventure will be in Frontiers, and Frontiers are cool because they're oversized books that like they're about this big, and then like they're like a Black Label book essentially, like the big oversized or the one shots from Aftershock. They're like that big, and they're thicker, and they have they just have really great stories in there, a bunch of different stories. It's like an anthology for kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scoot has been doing a great job.
Yeah, do you want to show them that picture of your one of your favorites?
Oh gosh. And we now have trades of
We do have
Soulstream.
trades of Soulstream in stock, or I guess graphic novels, because it was one of those where it was like one issue came out and then it went to graphic novel form. And Soulstream is a fantastic book made by a high school student.
Yes, which is, I think is great. Yeah. I think if you can find more of these young talented creators and going ahead and giving them an opportunity, because I mean, I feel like it would be even better if kids' books were written by kids.
Yeah, it would be great.
Because now you're going to have kids who are reading these books and being like, "Oh, I understand, this is very similar to how my mind operates, or the kind of fantasies that I create in my head."
And also, I can do this. Like, this gives me a chance to believe that, like, there's a career in that for me out there someday. And the creator of Soulstream, their book is... their book is basically for fans of Steven Universe. If you're a fan of Steven Universe, you need to be reading Soulstream. So, and we do have that, like Phil said. Homesick Pilots issue 10.
The final issue of this second trade.
Yes, volume 2.
Because it does solicit in the back that the trade for this will be coming out soon. Be issue 6 through 10. And it's very obvious that this is kind of the end of volume 2. It definitely felt like, hey, we're going to end here. And then more than likely, I kind of feel like I've been saying this a lot, but I definitely think the next volume is it.
Is this the end?
Because they're ramping up towards the finale here. Again, the art in this book is beyond amazing. Casper Wingard, just easily growing to be one of my favorites. And the character designs in these, the mech suit, the destruction of cities, all of it is just, it's really well done. What? It's not a spoiler. You're fine.
That wasn't anything what it was like then.
No, it is nothing like... If you read Volume 1 of Homesick Pilots... If you read Issue 1 of Homesick Pilots... Issue 1 of Homesick Pilots was two bands who were trying to outdo each other. And they were like, ooh, let's... Like, they had a show in a bowling alley. Like, we have to have a show in a cooler place than that. And they were like, let's have a show in a haunted house. Let's go check out the old haunted house.
Right.
And they go check out the old haunted house. And the house... decides to haunt them, essentially. And there's, like, all of this destruction. You're not sure who made it out alive and who didn't. And we see Volume 1 is one of the girls from the band gets taken in by the house and is now, like, helping the house hunt down all of the other ghosts that should have belonged in the house. Like, it's like, oh, people have taken artifacts from this house over the years, or from the people who died in the house over the years, and they need to come home, literally, to the house. And so Volume 1 sees the girl from the Homesick Pilots chasing down all of these artifacts and bringing these ghosts home. And then Volume 2 expands the universe and shows us who actually survived from this house attack, and kind of sees us chasing down the girl and the house.
Right.
From a different perspective. And Volume 3 is going to really bring those two together. And we're going to see those two different narratives kind of come into play as one big overall story.
Yes. Yeah. And so I love this cover. This is such a cool cover. I don't ever want this book to end.
No.
But I know it's going to.
Yes.
But kind of along the lines of like something is killing the children, I'd be cool if they spun off
and
kind of went more into the history of the house.
I would like to see one-shot spin-offs, like an anthology series of all the different ghosts. Because they did that one issue where they told the story of the little boy. And then they had another couple of stories in there from like, I think there was like a couple or something. But they kind of showed like a couple of the ghosts and how they died. I would be fine with an anthology series that was just like one issue was about each of the ghosts.
That'd be cool. I'd be down for that.
With Casper on art.
On everything.
And speaking of people who need to be on everything and are, Mazebook from Jeff Lemire.
Yes, issue number 2 of a book that is going to make me cry.
Yes. This is about a man who his daughter has passed away as a child. His young child passed away, and that caused him to kind of lose everything.
Yeah.
He lost he lost his wife. He kind of seems like he's in a job that he wasn't in before. Like maybe this is just like the job he has now. And he kind of seems really lost. And one day he gets a phone call, assumedly from his daughter, who is dead. Yeah. And he is now on a hunt because he believes that she's not. And the daughter was really, really into mazes. And so he's decided that maybe he just needs to solve the maze and then he'll find his daughter. And it's so emotional of a journey already. And the way Jeff is writing it and drawing it and everything is like you feel like you're unraveling a puzzle. Like you're working your way through it and you hit those like ends and you're having to turn and like it's so good.
Yeah, and this is another one of those books, like as I've shown these first few pages, there's no color. Mm-hmm. But again, it's kind of one that it does give you a little hints of color, and that ties into, important moments in this book. And yeah, I think this is such a wonderful book. This to me, like if you've read Jeff Lemire, you know that he kind of covers very much like Tynion. He can cover like a handful of different genres. This kind of falls more into like Essex County or the Underwater Welder, where it's a little bit kind of more on the sad side.
Yeah. Definitely on the sad side.
And where you're definitely going to get some emotional aspects to it. But I think this is going to be a wonderful book, especially when it's collected and trade. I'm hoping kind of like Dead Dog Bite, this gets a nice little hardcover. But yeah, I think this is just Jeff Lemire doing, again, just what he is good at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's him on art as well, which is always such a treat, when he kind of takes on both roles. So I would definitely check this one out.
Absolutely. And we do have issue 1 and 2 in stock.
Yeah, I think this will be have some Eisner's talks around
it for
sure.
Absolutely going to have Eisner's. Yeah. Speaking of people doing what they do really well, this was a big Mark Russell week.
Yes.
So, Second Coming Only Begotten Son, issue 6, it's over.
It's done.
This is it. Yeah, I don't know if when we'll come back to this world, but this is potentially the end of this story. And this is volume 2 of Second Coming. Second Coming came out a few years back. And if you don't know, Second Coming was originally supposed to be a DC comic. And it was supposed to be what if Jesus came back and had to live essentially with Superman. And it got, the mainstream media got a hold of it, kind of thought like, hey, that's a little sacrilegious. I don't know how I feel about that. And DC was like, ooh, you're probably right. Kind of much like they did with The Boys, where they were like, this doesn't really fall in our brand. Like, we're going to let it go back into the wild. They let it go back into the wild. And Ahoy, who was only about a couple months or so into their publishing company, was like, hey, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Like, we'll absolutely take this book. They started in 2018, and this book came out probably 2019 for the first volume. Yeah, 2018, 2019. And so it was very early, like, grab for Ahoy. And I remember, like, I don't know who this publishing company is, but good for them for picking it up. Like, I was like, did they just start just so that they could pick up this comic?
Yeah.
Like, for a second, I thought Mark Russell just launched his own publishing company to take this book. But it is all, Volume 1 shows Jesus coming back to Earth because he's told God all these years that he told them he was going to come back, and he was going to come back, and he has to go back. And God's like, I'm not letting you go back because you did such a terrible job the first time of proving what a God is. You can't go back. And then he sees this character called, who's like Superman. He's like Sunfire, I think is his name. And he's like, this is how you show the world what a God is. Like,
right.
This is it. And so he sends Superman, and that Superman style character and Lois Lane want to have a baby. And so God's like, hey, what if I give you my son and you help him out? And he's like, is he a baby? And he's like, no, he's like in his 30s. He's kind of immortal. He's an adult. But, like, take him in. So Jesus comes back to live with this Lois Lane and Superman style character. And he realizes the state of the world. And it's really Mark Russell who said he grew up, like, in the church, kind of processing, like, everything he's seen in his whole life and everything he's been taught. And Volume 1 ends with them having a baby, and so the Superman and Lois Lane character getting pregnant, not having the baby. And Volume 2, which is Only Begotten Son, is Jesus building his apostles and kind of coming to terms with that there's always going to be, like, the people who do kind of follow him, and then there's going to be the people who, like, butcher what he says, and the people who, like, don't believe him. And he kind of goes through that whole thing. And at the same time, like, our Superman character is kind of learning that, like, just because he thinks he's doing the right thing doesn't mean he is.
Right.
And he keeps trying to find the right way to help people. There's a point where he, like, sets up a place where you can call him and he'll do what you think is the best thing to help the world. Like, because people keep saying, like, well, you're helping us beat all these aliens, but you're not actually helping the world. So he tries to, like, be more like Jesus, and it ends up blowing up in his face. And this second volume really does have that conversation of, in this issue, like, Jesus specifically, like, goes to God, and he's like, I feel like I did it all wrong because it always ends up blowing up in my face. And God's like, explains to him, like, hey, you made the word, but then you gave it to them, and it's for them to use it now. And so it's you can see Mark Russell's thought process as he goes through the whole thing, and it's actually it's hilarious read, but it's also really good, like, conversation of, like, dealing with all of, like, learning through all that and dealing with it.
Right.
And speaking of Mark Russell dealing with some things, this book is not about a dead box. This book is not as dumb as the name implies. This book, Deadbox, this is issue 2, also by Mark Russell, and this is on the Vault Nightfall imprint, which we're huge fans of. And this book was pitched as, like, in a small town, a red box is, like, possessed, and the videos that people watch will haunt them for life. None of that is what this is about. At all. No.
And it kind of is a little bit of an anthology to a degree, with each issue having, like, one story to kind of tie it all together. Mm-hmm. I feel like, whereas in the first issue, once you got into the movie, it was mostly just the focus of the movie part of it, when, they're kind of showing the sci-fi story of the movie she's watching, where this one kind of bounces back and forth a little bit more.
Yeah.
Kind of different from that first issue.
And basically, your like, frame tell is there's a girl who had gotten out of her small town, moved away to college, was so excited, and then she finds out that her dad, who runs the local convenience store, has gotten sick. And she has to come back and take care of her dad and run the convenience store. And within the convenience store is a red box that has movies nobody has ever heard of. none of these are like D-level movies. Like, they're just like obscure, nobody's watching these movies kind of thing. And now she's stuck in this small town, and I love that she's allegedly reading this book that's a criticism of American culture.
Yeah.
And so it always starts with the inside of like what she, like the quotes of what she's reading, which is really like Mark Russell narration over it. And you get these that kind of set up the frame of the story, and then we see the person who's going to rent the red box. Like, then we jump into their story. And in this particular issue, it's a woman and her husband go to the local like bazaar at the church after the potluck, and the husband finds a pair of pants that he loves and
that he wore in high school. And he's so excited, and he puts them on, and everybody starts ridiculing him and condemning him because they are women's pants and he shouldn't be wearing them. And the woman is so like distraught because the whole town now thinks her husband is wearing women's pants, and they convince her of like who he is, and she starts watching. And so she ends up like separating from him and all this stuff, and then the movie, she decides to watch a romantic comedy that is in no way romantic or a comedy, but it's such a commentary on the way that the townspeople have reacted to the situation. And so at this point, like, we've got our girl who is, home from college, who's reading about American society and criticism. And then we've got the small town woman who's let society dictate her thoughts. And then we've got the characters in the movie who are showing us the problem with letting letting society dictate your thoughts. And so it's this multi-layered story from Mark Russell to once again kind of start a conversation and provide this commentary on society through great crafted storytelling. And please don't let the title Deadbox fool you. Yes. Yeah, I know it seems silly. I laughed at the cover of the first issue. I thought, oh, how is Mark Russell going to make such a stupid book work well? And it's not stupid at all. It's
not stupid. It's actually really, really deep. This isn't one of those, like we were talking about earlier, this isn't one of those books where you can just like flip through it and be like, oh, that was great. This is like Ice Cream Man, where you need to slow down and read it and think about like, okay, what did I just read? Like, this is one of those books where the levels of what is happening and the storytelling is each thing, like every word, every image, all of it comes together very specifically and pointedly. And if you don't pay attention to something, you're going to miss those details. Even you were like, I missed the point of the movie in this one. And I was like, oh, it's this. And you were like, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
I'm not going to tell y'all what it was because it's very, like, huge to the story. But it was like, if you miss, like, one little detail in it, you have to go back and kind of reevaluate the whole thing and reread it. And so it's not a quick, like, blow through it, like, but it is super, super good. And much like The Ice Cream Man and Second Coming and things like that, if you enjoy those kind of books where it's like, oh, you're going to say, you open page 1 and you're like, you're going to say something to me, I should probably pay attention, you'll enjoy this book.
Yeah, and I kind of, the thing that I've always enjoyed about Mark Russell is that he's always been good at taking, I remember when I read Flintstones, and I was like, oh, I love the Flintstones, and then he added so much social commentary to it. And I like that every book that he has kind of has a little bit of absurdity in the concept. You take it Second Coming, and I'm blanking on the other book that I was just thinking about. Oh, Not All Robots.
Not All Robots.
Where it's kind of these like goofy concepts, and even Deadbox, like such a weird, out there concept, and yet there's so much layers to it, and that's what I enjoy. I actually feel kind of sometimes smarter
Yeah.
when I read Mark Russell. Like, obviously, I wasn't smart enough to understand this issue right off the bat. I was kind of like, wait, what are you trying to teach me here? But then, of course, like, once you explain it, I was like, oh my god, it makes so much sense, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it, is because there is that teachable moment in every issue, and so it gives you a good conversation piece. And, like, this was one of those where I was like, Matt, I need you to read it, because I'd like to talk to you about these. And I was like, read it. And now he's like, since he's read it, Matt's like, I've heard Matt recommend it to almost everybody that's come in, so...
Yeah, it's definitely on the highly recommended list.
Yeah.
Especially, too, because without even, like, more so than anything, because I know, like, last night Josh was saying that he had picked it up. Him and Jay both, I think, are reading it. But it's one of those books that I almost just want to recommend and not tell people what it's about. And just be like, oh, the overall concept is, like, this red box that gives you these crazy movies that kind of maybe tie into reality or make things crazy, but...
And I think the red box, like, the movies that they watch will haunt them, meant something completely different.
Yes,
like, the solicit, we heard that, and it was like, oh, they're gonna die, and, like, there's gonna be ghosts, and we took it, like, in the literal sense, and I think he meant it in, because it's Mark Russell, in the, like, the deeper meaning of that, and, like, it haunts you because it lingers and it changes your perspective on life. And here he is doing that, as he always does. We have one more book, and this book surprised both of us this week, so that's why it's down here in our picks of the week. As, like, the last one, because both of us had, without talking to each other about it before we read it, had the same reaction to it, and that is, it's Intrusion by Magma Comics, which is an imprint of heavy metal. This book is about when the French people in Canada had to come down to Louisiana and settle there, and all of the idea of, like, them being pushed out of their home and forced into Louisiana, and all of the land that they acquired in Louisiana to do that. Or, if you flip it over, it is about how the French people from Canada came in and took the land from the people who were already in Louisiana, and how they are the invading people. So,
one story, second story. So this is one of those books where you have two separate stories that start at each end of the book and meet in the middle. And it's two perspectives on the same story. I mean, like you said, it's so interesting. I was fearful at first that this was going to be a book that I've read a million times. And I didn't know that it had this kind of flip, multi-story flip kind of concept. And it's so great. And honestly, I'm going to say now, I think you should read the human
story first.
Yes. So start on this one, and then once you get to the halfway point, then flip it here, because it changes the whole book. Like, at first you're like, okay, this is really interesting. I like where this story is going. And then when you read that second book, you're like, whoa, I want more of this.
Yeah, and it was one of those things, too, where I started it and I didn't realize, like you said, I didn't realize it had a flip side. And I ordered it, so I knew that at one point. But I always forget by the time books come in, especially from things like heavy metal that are usually just on the initial order 2 months ago. And so this, it came up, and I was reading it, and I got to that halfway point, and I was like, why is half of this page upside down?
Yes.
I don't understand what's happening. And then I flipped the page, and I was like, the whole book's upside down. And I was like, what, is this like an ice cream man kind of moment? Like, am I supposed to flip it? And so I flipped it, and I was like, well, this still doesn't look right. And so I flipped to the back of the book, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm supposed to start over.
Yeah.
And like you said, it completely changes. Like, I felt for all of the people in the first story until I read the second story, and then I was like, oh, I have completely different feelings about this entire thing now.
Right.
And that is so well done. What an interesting way to once again play with that medium, and just kind of realize that perspective determines your reality.
Yeah.
And to see it put into a visual medium form to explain that. Like, from now on, when people tell me, well, you know, when I'm trying to tell people about the view outside someone else's window, I'm just going to give them this book and be like, read both sides.
Yes. And I want to show more, but I don't.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil.
Like, I was thinking about flipping it over and kind of showing the second story, but I feel like it takes away from the excitement of the first story.
When I was in college, I took a history class, and we studied the Boston Massacre. And we had to do an in-depth knowledge, study of the fact that nobody actually knows what happened there. There was 12 different people that all said, this is my recounting of what happened, and none of the stories are the same. And how the perspective, they melded all those stories together to come up with, this is probably what happened. And it kind of made you think, and the whole point, that's how we started our history class, was the thing about history is nobody really knows what happened in any of it. And what I like about this is that's what this did. It was this is what we think happened in history. And then it's but what? But that's because that's the only part of the story we've heard. Now look at the other part of the story, and now maybe that's not actually what happened. Yeah,
and this book does it so well. I feel like heavy metal has been really doing a great job,
especially
with their different titles.
The Magma Comics imprint, that's that Modern Frankenstein, and a bunch of the titles that we highlight on here. They come out of that Magma imprint.
Isn't Black Beacon a Magma title?
It might be. I think so. It's one of the imprints. It's not actually the actual magazine. It might be. It might be the Magma title, but Magma Comics within heavy metal has just really been doing a great job. And actually, the guy that's the editor came from IDW.
Oh, really?
And so he was most recently, prior to this, with IDW. So Denton Tipton.
Yeah, Denton Tipton.
Yeah, he used to be with IDW, and then he came to take over and launch Magma. And he's just been doing a great job with the stories that he's selecting.
Yeah, so. I highly recommend checking this one out. It was well worth it. $7, and you get 2 stories in one. This is easily, yes, we can talk all day about Mark Russell books, but this was my favorite book of the week.
Absolutely, and it did it on the opposite end, because that's the thing about comics is it's not just the writing, it's the art. Mark Russell tells you a story. You could put Mark Russell in a prose form, and you're still going to get the incredible, prolific writing that you get. You're going to still walk away with that message. This is using the need for comics. This is that combination of the art and the medium, because you couldn't have told the story in book format and just in prose format and gotten the story out of it. This needed to have the art and the flip and all of that to give you the clear understanding of what they were trying to say.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
Easily
the best book of the week.
Absolutely.
I think everyone should check this one out. Come in, read it.
Yeah, enjoy it. It's awesome.
Yes. And shout out to heavy metal.
Word. Let's give him something. Prize! So thanks, babe. I am going to give you a copy of Saint Mercy from Top Cow, because we're talking about all these indie books. And, of course, as Phil just brought up, the Amazing Spider-Man slab. I was like, what is the word I'm looking for? Sorry. We are going to give you a ticket to be entered into the raffle for Amazing Spider-Man number 700, this 9/8 edition of that. We will be drawing the winner for that on October 30th at our Small Press Halloween event, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. You get both that Amazing Spider-Man number 700 and this copy of Saint Mercy, which is a Top Cow book all about a young girl who may or may not is either the defender of God or quite possibly might be an Incan goddess. We don't know yet, as we are only 2 issues in, and we're still we're traveling back and forth between 2 different time periods. Really great story. You can get both of those prizes if you can tell me the answer to this question. Since we're doing Top Cow, I guess I'll use an image question. According to Robert Kirkman, what month and year does Walking Dead begin in?
The actual story?
Yeah, if you're reading the comic, what is the actual month and year that Walking Dead is supposed to have begun in? According to an interview with Robert Kirkman. If you need to find the answer, check out the Walking Dead Wikipedia page, because that's where I got it from. Yeah, Robert Kirkman actually said this is where it starts, and then he's like, he was doing the interview around issue 38, and he was like, oh, right now we'd probably be here. But you know what? If it was this year, it wouldn't matter. If it was this year, it wouldn't matter. Like, the whole point is that time drags on in this story. He also said he was anticipating going on for 300 issues for The Walking Dead, and he said, but there's going to be something really cool that happens around issue 127, so keep your eye out. And that's hilarious that was his original interview, because he did not, in fact, go on to 300 issues.
What happened in 127?
What happened in 127? I don't know, but I'm just saying he said keep your eye out for 127, but he said he was going to go on for 300 issues, and he definitely did not make it 300 issues.
He didn't even make it to 200,
He did not make it to 200.
He came up short just of 200, didn't he?
On purpose.
Oh.
So it's interesting that I'm wondering if there's another 100 issues lying around somewhere. But if you can tell us, according to Robert Kirkman, what month and year does Walking Dead begin in? I didn't write out that whole word at all. I just wrote that one letter to give me an idea. If you can tell me what year and month it is in the story at the beginning of Walking Dead, you get a copy of Saint Mercy #1, which you definitely want to read. And you get entered to win this amazing Spider-Man number 700. It is a 9/8. We will be raffling it off on October 30th as a part of our Small Press Halloween event. It does have that certificate of authenticity in there.
Got that nice COA there. So you know it's a legit
Dynamic Forces exclusive thing. Yeah, you were talking earlier that you like that they put "it's the death of Peter Parker" in quotes.
Yes, I do. I think that's great. I do. I actually read some of the this Spider-Man run. I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, but Giuseppe Camuncoli was doing the art on it.
Who was doing the story? Dan Slott, right? Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, is that during the Dan Slott stuff?
But yeah, I came on board because of the Giuseppe Camuncoli art, and a lot of it's really interesting. I want to read the what is it? Is it Inferior? What's the one where Doc Ock
Superior Spider-Man?
Yeah, I do want to read that storyline.
That was like the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah,
there.
I know. Oops. Oops.
I love these collage variants that they do for the covers, especially this one. It's just his eye. But if you want
Garzin.
Yeah, if you want Garzin, artist on a lot of those.
It doesn't say who the cover artist is.
It doesn't say, but he's the one. Did he do this one? Because I know he does all the other ones. He did, right, which I didn't bring his cover, but I did bring that book in a second. Yeah, if you want a chance to win this amazing Spider-Man 700, as well as actually winning this copy of Saint Mercy #1, tell me what month and year did Walking Dead begin in the story, not when it actually came out, but what year is it supposed to be? Gomez, you are correct on the month, but what year did Robert Kirkman say it actually was in the story? Not what year did the book come out, but what year did he say it was?
Let's see.
It was in the 2000s. I will tell you that. So if you want to just start naming years in the 2000s, you will be close to getting it correct at least. What are you looking up? Are you looking up the cover?
Yeah, I wanted to know who did the cover. I thought I could find it.
It's not Garzin like all the other ones?
It could be.
Because he does all the other of these. Did you look on the cover? Yep, it's Garzin.
Where'd you see that?
Where it says his name and his signature. It's right here.
That is way down in that corner.
Well, that's the thing.
Who notices that?
Me. Because I know where he usually signs his name.
That's way too small.
So if you can tell me what year did Robert Kirkman say that Walking Dead began? Gomez has already told us it was in October, so if you just want to name a year between 2000 and 2010, you may be the one that wins. And also, you should read Saint Mercy because I really want people to read this book because I am curious about where the story is going to go.
Yeah, this is one that I was going to let it work its way through for a second and then pick it up because I do like the concept of the story for sure.
Awesome. Gomez, you got it. It was October 2003. So you're getting a copy of Saint Mercy #1 to check out and a ticket into the raffle. So, yay, Gomez.
Just imagine that answer could win you a slab.
It could win you this slab. Jerry said the answer was brains.
That's an acceptable answer.
It's absolutely always an acceptable answer. All right, we are going to continue with some in-stocks. And now I'm going to grab this. And we're just going to talk about this immediately since we just said Garson does these amazing covers. Here is Immortal Hulk #50 with that Garson cover. Yes, love it.
Final issue of the Ewing stuff, right?
It is the final issue of the Ewing run. Coming up, that's the original cover A, which is a wraparound cover. That's super cool. Coming up next month in November, we will actually see the launch of Donny Cates' Hulk, as well as Al Ewing and Ram V's Venom. And so, actually, I think Venom might launch this month, but soon enough. It's not this week, I know that. We also had He Who Fights with Monsters #2 from Ablaze. This is a story also about Nazi Germany, and it's a doctor who is being asked to awaken the golem to protect them. And it's the artist of Something Is Killing the Children, which is printed at the top of every single issue. Wonder Woman 780. This is Michael Conrad and Becky Cloonan. This is, I believe, the last issue before the Trials of the Amazons that you might have heard about during DC Fandom. Because it actually ends with Up Next Wonder Women. And a question mark.
Sweet. I'm in.
So super excited about Trials of the Amazon. Loved Becky and Michael's run on this and can't wait to see more. Also, don't forget that Nubia is getting her own title coming soon.
I'm very excited for that Nubia book.
Yes.
The cover looks amazing.
That'd be great. Witchblood #7. I like to call this an epic battle between ancient vampires and witches if it took place in the Scott Pilgrim art universe. Secret Land. The third book of the week that has to do with Nazi Germany. This one is about the base in the Antarctic. This is one of the actual love stories in comic books. It's strictly just like a romance novel. So it's kind of interesting. It's a 4-part series from Dark Horse, so that is the end. Harley Quinn, the animated series, #2, Eat, Bang, Kill. If you watch the animated series and you're not reading this book, you're missing the next part of the story. Electric Black Dark Caravan from Black Caravan, which is how we got that title, of the Scout imprint. This is super cool. Joseph Smolke story. That's really what I have to say about that. If you read Phantom Starkiller, We Don't Kill Spiders, Count Draco Knuckle Duster, any of those, you probably love some Joseph Smolke, and Electric Black and Black Dark Caravan are where we go to with that.
He's been doing a lot of great stuff.
Yes, all on Black Caravan.
Yes.
X-Men 4, not to be confused with the other X-Men title, also by the same name going on at the same time.
Wait, really?
There are 2 X-Men titles. One was already in, and then they announced the new team, and that issue started as well. So there is the new team in this book, and then the other team currently still happening for a little bit longer.
Okay.
X-Men. Lots of X-Men. And Worst Dudes #5 is out. This is a crazy, crazy book that if you are looking for absurd, check it out. It's from Dark Horse.
Yeah.
X-Force #24 is out. That is our other
More
X title
X-Men.
for the week. Power. I'm pretty sure it was Mighty Morphin this week. Nope, it's Power Rangers #12. Okay. Well, Power Rangers is out. There it is. Magic #7. Jed McKay on Magic, still going on from Boom. Kazar, Lord of the Savage Land. This is #2. A lot of people were like, "Oh man, I like Kazar. I didn't know he had a title." Well, he does, and it's on #2.
I also did not know he had a title.
Okay. BJ is saying that Hickman X-Men is over, and this book replaces it. King the Conqueror issue 3 is out.
It's a fun series.
It has been a fun series, and I know
like it.
Doom is on one of the covers, so that means
Ooh.
Doom must have an appearance. Justice League Last Ride. I believe this is the Chip Zdarsky Justice League going on.
And it is, yes.
Chip Zdarsky also just announced for a Batman title at DC.
Yes, he did.
A lot of people freaking out about that. That's gonna be good.
More Batman.
But Chip Zdarsky, so
True.
but he's not taking over the Batman title.
No,
This is a different Batman, because lots of Batman, as Phil just said. Iron Man issue 13, I think. Yeah.
Love these Alex Ross covers.
Yeah.
Well,
Eternals Forever. This is issue 1 of Eternals Forever. A lot of people have been like, wait, I'm really confused. I thought we had an Eternal series going on. We do, from Kieran Gillen. These are just little one-shots that come out of that. So,
this art's really nice.
yeah. Engine Ward, issue 12. This is from Vault. I believe this has to be the last issue. I say that because it was based off of the Zodiac sign, so I don't know why it would go past 12 issues. But that's just my assumption. I have not caught up, so I can't tell you if it does or not.
I do want to read that one in trades.
It's been good. It was good. I read the first volume. It's really good.
Do y'all have the first volume?
I don't think we do in trade form, but I'll look for you. Deep Beyond issue 9 is out. This is really, let's talk about sci-fi. This is one of the most sci-fi books that we probably have seen on the shelves recently, and it's really, really great. If you like that, like, this has underwater, apocalyptic, and aliens all in one book.
There you go.
It's the sci-fiest of the sci-fis. Darkhold Iron Man, also out this week. The Darkhold book, the alpha issue of Darkhold, I have a couple of the variants, I will say. I did not get the main title because it's in the week that we didn't get the last of, it was the last Marvel book that was shipping through Diamond, and that just happened to be the week that our comics did not make it to us. So we don't have the Darkhold Alpha other than a couple of variants. So if you're waiting for it and you haven't picked it up somewhere else and you need one of those variants, shoot me a message. Otherwise, if you do have to buy Darkhold Alpha somewhere else, it does not hurt my feelings, because I do know for a fact that Diamond is not able to replace it for us. So if you are waiting on that, grab Darkhold Alpha. I talked to Austin Books and Comics. They told me that they did have a lot of copies of Darkhold Alpha. So if you're looking for it, I talked to Ty to make sure they would have it when ours did not make it to us. So go support another local Austin comic shop and be cool.
Also, this book looks really cool.
Yeah. Matt, can you hand me, out of the additional new this week, the greatest book of all time, Chicken Devil #1. It's not it's definitely on my list of books that should have been in a books that we enjoyed. If there is a copy in there, I know there was at one point.
Is Darkhold a villain or is it an event?
Darkhold is an event. It's based off of the book, The Darkhold. If you saw WandaVision, they make reference to the Darkhold. Darkhold is the book of spells that is used in the Marvel Universe.
Oh, okay.
And usually it is a tie to Scarlet Witch, and this is all about like who is going to be the one that holds the Darkhold. Chicken Devil is an Aftershock title that Phil and I thankfully got to read thanks to our wonderful dear friend Brian Lasseter.
Yes.
And then we just recently, I didn't know if we had enough left, thank you. And I sold mine out of my stack. So Chicken Devil was something that we had been highly anticipating. It's all about a guy who owns a bunch of chicken restaurants, and his business partner gets in league with a bunch of drug dealers, and he, like you said, becomes the lovable loser who is just trying to survive.
Yeah, this is kind of he constantly is stumbling upon all these issues, but somehow luckily makes it through it. This is a book that I am going to be excited for every time these issues come out. The art by Hayden Sherman is just magnificent. I want original art. Again, this is just one of those ones where like a page like that looks really cool.
Yeah.
I think it looks so fantastic, and I'm more here for the art, but I do like Brian I think it's Bucoletto or Bucoletto.
Bucoletto.
The stuff that I've read from him has been pretty impressive, so I think this is one.
Yeah. I'm here for these Aftershock covers. They started these with Bunny Mask, and I love that it was a Bunny Mask thing, and now they're doing it with Chicken Devil. That makes it even more hilarious to me that this is, yes, everybody keeps referencing the Gustavo from Breaking Bad. Yes, it is exactly in that vein. Bunny Mask had the Bunny Mask covers where you could cut it out and you could wear the Bunny Mask. And I love that somehow that translated over into the Chicken Devil thing, because Bunny Mask is so dark and creepy and wonderful, and Chicken Devil is so, Brian Lasseter described it the best, one of our volunteers, customers, and friends. He described it as the train wreck, like, that he just like the train wreck that you love to watch happen. Like, he was like, it was a glorious train wreck, and they literally responded to him with thank you, I think. And he was like, no, I mean that in the most positive way. Everything that could go wrong goes wrong, and yet I was so excited I got on the train. Yes, and it's exactly that. Like, it's a mess. It's all over the place, but in like the best way possible. And it's an Aftershock title, so we may only get 5 issues, but they're gonna be really fun the whole way through. Yeah. So we have cover B in stock right now. Our cover A's will be here on Wednesday. So if you're like, I don't know if I want to try this Chicken Devil, you have until Wednesday. You have till Wednesday anyway, because we're not open tomorrow and Tuesday. So on Wednesday, we'll have those cover A's, and I recommend everybody grab a copy and check it out. It's pure fun. It's the opposite of all the books that we talked about at the end, where we were like, oh, you have to like put on your thinking cap and get ready for some like super deep stuff. This is just an absolute like fun ride of a mess of a comic that's wonderful. So check it out. Aftershock has been doing incredible like stories recently. We've got Almost American, we've got Bunny Mask, we've got Maniac of New York, we've got a lot of really Search for Hugh, we've got a lot of really good Aftershock titles on the shelf, and I can't wait to get those Chicken Devils in on Wednesday so that I can add yet another great Aftershock title. And one of the most important things ever happened this week. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina came back.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you read the trade for Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, because that's pretty much probably the only way you're going to be reading that anytime soon, we are back with a new volume of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and I love this homage to the first Sabrina cover, where she's like, oh, sorry I've been away for so long, but like I'm back. I love that it's the Chilling Adventures Sabrina, but she's sitting in the pose that the regular Sabrina was in on the first issue of Sabrina. So love this. I'm so excited it's back. I was talking to some customers about it today, and I said, did you watch the show? And they were like, yeah. Do you want to show them the art? Because it's creepy. I was like, did you watch the show? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, did you think the show was dark? And they were like, it was kind of dark for Sabrina. And I go, okay, well, the show thinks it's dark. This comic is dark. Yeah. And I show them that scene where Madam Satan comes out of the water. And they were like, oh my god! And I was like, yeah, it's terrifying. It is the scariest of the Archie horror books. It is definitely the actual, like, horror book within the genre. It calls back to all of those classic horror, like pre-code horror kind of design in the art, and it definitely takes itself seriously as a horror book, and it's not like the, Jughead the Hunger and Vampironica, those are all like your campy horror books. This is your actual, like, pre-code terrifying horror that you need to jump into, and it's back.
Yeah, this isn't your parents' Archie books.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, these have been really fun. I didn't even know this was coming back, so.
Apparently I failed to tell everybody. I got told this week, I bought this book already because I didn't know if y'all would have it, and I was like, it's an Archie book. Of course, Matt has a Jughead tattoo. Of course we would have it. And they were like, well, I guess what I meant by that was I didn't know it was coming out, so I didn't know if anybody knew it was coming out. And I was like, Matt has a Jughead tattoo. Of course we knew that it's coming out. So that's on me because I failed to tell everybody, but this is your reminder once again to read your previous catalogs.
Yes, so, it is very important.
Yes. Or ask me what's new and exciting coming up, and I'll tell you. So that's the stuff that's in stock. Can we give them another prize? Phil's ready. Phil's like, I got my book. All right.
I want someone to win this. I want someone who.
Guys!
I want someone who wins tonight to win this book.
Ooh, that's big. Well, since we've talked about Scout a lot tonight, I thought we'd give away a Scout book in No Ghost in Hiroshima.
Yes.
This is one of the Scout books that was supposed to go direct to graphic novel after issue 1. And it's all about a guy who finds a mysterious box filled with some demon stuff, possibly. You can win that book and a chance to win Amazing Spider-Man 700 if you can tell me what is the name of Daphne's show on the Knitting Channel in Scooby-Doo Apocalypse? So Daphne has a TV show in Scooby-Doo Apocalypse. What is the name of this show? If you can tell me the name of that, you get a chance to win this Amazing Spider-Man 700 as well as No Ghost in Hiroshima. As usual, you can Wikipedia the answer because I cannot see what you're doing. Or you can just Google it. Ram, we can definitely add Harley Quinn, and I always put Power Rangers in your box when it comes out, so you are solid on that, buddy. Don't you worry. And I am gonna find that Maxwell's Demons for you that we talked about on the phone yesterday. So I have
the
not.
Trade?
No, the Free Comic Book Day issue.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I have one on my desk, and I told Ram that, so I'm going to check into that. So
It's such a good book.
it's so good.
Yeah, the Trade was really good. Yeah.
I love Maxwell's Demons. Talk about a book that had a lot to say and did it in a creative way.
Yes.
That is when we did it for book club, we did the Free Comic Book Day issue for book club.
Oh, nice.
And I said, this is like if Winnie the Pooh was really, really dark.
Yeah.
Like if Winnie the Pooh was to help you deal with if Christopher Robin had alcoholic, abusive parents, this is what he would have come up with in his 100 Acre Woods. So it's a great story, beautiful story. Not for children, as it was originally released on Free Comic Book Day.
Which I remember seeing the book, and I thought, oh yeah, it's gonna be like one of those kids' books, maybe tweens, middle school level.
No,
Not at all.
not even a little
case.
bit.
No.
Yeah. Ooh, Gomez with the second ticket.
Gomez.
Yes.
Your chances
Chances are going up. Also, I'm just excited for all these indie books you're gonna read.
Yeah, you have to let us know what you think.
Yeah, No Ghost in Hiroshima
What was
is
the
a
other
great
one
one.
he won?
He won St. Mercy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and the answer is Daphne Blake's Mysterious Mysteries. I don't know why that was on the Knitting Channel, but I love that it was at the same time. And Gomez says he is also excited, so yay! All right, we've got some trades in stock for you. Really fast. Trades. We don't need the sound effect. I am just a ridiculous human who thinks. I watched too much Nickelodeon as a kid.
Nothing wrong with that.
First up, we have Lady Killer in stock. I have wanted to have this book in stock for so long, and then I had a customer ask me for it twice, and I forgot that I had already ordered it for them, so from one distributor, and then I reordered it from another distributor, so now and then I was like, oh, and I need extras, so now I have it in stock, and I'm very excited. Joelle Jones doing what Joelle Jones does, which is be amazing. It's all about a housewife in like the 50s.
Yep.
Who's also a assassin.
It's really great. I mean, if you read Joelle Jones, you know that she's both talented as a writer and an artist. And I feel like this was that book that put her on the map. I remember reading this in single issues, and this was when this was coming out. I was telling all my friends who read comics, like, this is the book you need to read. Please pick this up. I think it's worth it. And now I think it's optioned.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's such a fun read, for sure. $17.99. It's a volume 1. I don't remember volume 2.
I don't think there is a volume 2.
Yeah, I don't think there was.
I don't think it actually got a volume 2. I don't remember there being a volume 2. And I don't think a volume 2 came up when I ordered these. So,
And because I don't think it ever finished either.
No, I think it was open. Like,
Yeah.
it was left open, and it could have had a volume 2, but it didn't.
Well, it needs to.
It needs to. Joelle Jones, make us more. We love you.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of her in
Indie
indie
stuff?
stuff.
Me
Yeah,
too.
like give me more indie books.
And when
Please do Yara Floor, but also
Yeah.
indie books.
When she left Catwoman, I thought she was going back to indie, and then she went to Yada Floor, and I was like, never mind, I'm not going to say
Yeah,
anything.
no, it's
Please
okay, yeah.
do Yada Floor. Also, for the 7,000 people who've asked me, because literally almost every customer that's walked in has asked me where Yada Floor number 4 is, DC is experiencing delays like all other publishers, and so Yada Floor number 4 is not out until the end of the month. It'll be out on the 27th, which is the same day that House of Slaughter comes out, just for the record. But Yada Floor number 4 will be out on the 27th. DC says 26th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm selling you. It's the 27th. And then Yada Floor number 5 will be out November 23rd. So the dates have gotten shifted back. So if you're waiting for it, keep that in mind. Vampironica New Blood. Just learned today this is volume 2 of Vampironica. Totally forgot that there was a volume 1. So for some reason, when I searched for it, this is the only one that came up, but I did find volume 1 eventually today. So yeah, this is volume 2 of Vampironica that takes place still before Jughead the Hunger versus Vampironica. No, takes place after? No, I can't remember. Matt, this one's after, but Vampironica takes place before. Vampironica's before Jughead the Hunger. Yes.
I think they're both after.
I was talking about this with
versus Jughead the Hunger is after.
It's Vampironica and then Jughead the Hunger versus Vampironica and then this one. I was talking to Oren about it today, and he was saying that this Vampironica Volume 1 is referenced in Jughead the Hunger.
Jughead the Hunger meets Vampironica.
Versus
Vampironica.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Jughead the Hunger, Veronica is still a normal person.
Yeah.
She's not a vampire.
Yeah, she hasn't become a vampire until after Jughead the Hunger. So it's like Jughead the Hunger, Vampironica, then they meet in the verses, and then this is Vampironica New Blood, which has the cover that Megan did. So Megan Hutchinson Kate's cover on issue 2. Was 2? 4. 2. Okay. I was like, did I get it all wrong today? I'm having a day. Chad said, my brain hurts. Anybody following this? Laying it all down for you in order. Jughead the Hunger, Vampironica, Jughead the Hunger versus Vampironica, and then Vampironica New Blood. So, yes. There you go. Volume 2.
I'm intrigued by this Archie Katie Kane series.
It didn't...
By Mariko Tamaki.
And I feel like it didn't last very long. Or we didn't get it all. Yeah, it did come out. I ordered it. I ordered a very small amount of each. I can look it up for you if you want to try.
Yes, please. Also $12.99 for a volume. A little bit on the cheaper side.
Yeah.
For trades.
Modern Frankenstein, speaking of those heavy metal Magma titles, I wanted to bring this just for that reason. This is the story of a girl who ends up working with a doctor who is trying to remove, like, empathy and things from patients. And he kind of tricks her into working with him by saying he can cure her mom's dementia. And then we totally see the monster versus man kind of conversation going on.
I do need to read this one.
You do need to read that one. I enjoyed it very much.
That is on my list.
Redemption Volume 1 from AWA Upshot. This is Krista Faust asking the question, why do people fall in love with Clint Eastwood and John Wayne? And what if instead of having this old surly man that nobody really understands why we're supposed to like him, we had an old surly woman and we still don't really understand why we're supposed to like her. So this is it's a dystopian future that actually is still a Western. It's like this dystopian Western, steampunk almost kind of thing. And we've got a Sharon Stone-esque type woman as the Butcher, aka the only person who can save the town from the terrible patriarchy that is hijacked all the water and wants to kill all the women.
Is there a volume 2 in the works?
Not that I know of. AWA kind of they put volume 1 on everything just in case they decide to open anything up for a volume 2. But as soon as the first 4 to 5 are done, they'll put out that volume 1 about a month or so later. This is actually the longest delay we've ever had between the end of volume 1 and the trade coming out. And then they kind of leave it to where you could go with more. But this one has a nice, good wrapped up ending. So if it doesn't, you don't really need more. But it is not currently ongoing as far as we know.
Bleeding Cool says, get ready for a feminist spaghetti western. Mad Max meets Sergio Leone meets feminism.
That is a great description. Bleeding Cool.
It's actually very appealing to me. I love spaghetti westerns.
Me too. And it is literally like, it's The Quick and the Dead. But
oh, sweet.
Like, really.
I'm on board.
But without Leonardo DiCaprio.
Bummer.
I know. Leonardo DiCaprio was in The Quick and Dead. Did you not know that?
Was he a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really young.
And then lastly, Noctera Volume 1 came out this week. Yay! I'm so excited.
This is a bigger book.
It is a big book because they were some pretty hefty issues at time. This is Scott Snyder and Tony S. Daniel telling a really awesome story about a world where the sun has disappeared, and if you spend too much time in the darkness, you become a terrible monster who tries to kill everybody in the world. And it is a really big family story. This and Shadecraft both kind of surprised everybody with how much they ended up being a family story more than the monster story. And this one has two siblings, one who was actually blind, so the idea of being in a world of darkness, like, she was partially blind when she was born, and over time it kind of healed, so when she got to the world turning into darkness, she was like, I've already been in darkness all this time. Like, she wasn't scared of the new world, and she's been taking care of her younger sibling ever since in this darkness. So super, super cool story. Surprised the crap out of me with how good it was, not gonna lie. Which shouldn't have, because it's Scott Snyder and Tony S. Daniel, but didn't expect it to be as good as it was.
Solid team.
Solid
team. Yeah, this was one that I picked up issue 1 and then I kind of fell off. Just because I was reading so much. But, you know, $10 trade. May have to check it out.
Is it actually $10?
Yeah, it's $9.99.
Wow. That is huge for $9.99.
Big $9.99.
That is the biggest
right
$9.99 trade I've ever seen. Holy cow.
Most definitely.
Wow. Thanks, Scott Snyder, for making your trade $9.99.
Sales redemption.
Yeah, and AWA trades, all of them are $9.99, so Redemption is also $9.99. I brought 3 books off of the 50% off rack because if you've been paying attention to our Instagram, Matt's been talking about how cool our 50% off rack is right now, filled with all kinds of great Marvel, DC, and indie titles. So I wanted to bring one of each of those.
Very nice.
This is a freaking hardcover of Kick-Ass, and it's half off, which makes it what, $12, $12.50. So a hardcover of Kick-Ass for $12.50.
Collecting 1 through 8.
Dude.
And if you haven't read Kick-Ass, I think you should.
Yeah.
100%.
Because I know the movie received mixed reviews for the most part. It does not live up to how awesome this book is. You have John Romita Jr. art, Mark Millar. Like, he can write a good story.
You're done. Gomez is already buying it.
Oh, there you go. That's a smart pickup. It's going to look nice on your shelf, too. That cool hardcover.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. I also, from Marvel, brought a Black Panther. This is Volume 2 Epic Collection of Black Panther. So it's 1977 to 1988.
It's the actual Black Panther issues.
Not the Jungle.
Not the Jungle action. It's when his solo title of Black Panther
So you get Black Panther from 77 1 through 15, Marvel Premiere 51 through 53, Marvel Team Up 100, and then Black Panther from 1988 1 through 4. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're saying then that the Volume 1 was the Jungle stuff?
The Jungle action.
And the Fantastic Four stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's the Fantastic Four issues and then Jungle action. Volume 2 is the Black Panther solo title stuff.
Which was so good.
If you guys don't know, Matt has an epic collection of epic collections.
It is pretty epic.
Yeah, that's what Matt collects
sweet.
These days.
I have 49 of them.
And if that's half off, that makes it $20, right?
Yes.
Wow.
$20.
That's great.
To read. Kirby did it, right? Kirby did those Panther?
He did the Fantastic Four issues.
Oh, okay.
And then to bring you a DC book, Chad, you were correct. I saw y'all all trying to guess which one it was. It was Doomsday Clock. This is a hardcover of Part 1 of Doomsday Clock for half off. What was that, Matt?
It's 1 through 6.
1 through 6. Yeah, because
Yes.
it's the first volume of it. Issues 1 through 6 of Doomsday Clock in a beautiful hardcover for half off, which makes it
12 maybe. It says, I think it's 24.
Oh, well, that was something stupid on my part for putting the sticker over the price.
$24.99.
Yeah, $24.99. So yeah, it's a $12.50 half off of this hardcover Doomsday Clock
Yes, which was a great series.
for the most part.
Even though it took a really long time to get all 12 of those issues out, I thought it was worth it.
It was good.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
All right, so that's it. If you haven't come in and checked out the 50% off trades, you should,
There's a lot of
because
good stuff in
there's
there.
a lot of good stuff there, and I have more waiting to come out. So,
So if you buy these,
who knows what could come next? New trades added every day. Every day. Literally, every day. Except for Mondays and Tuesdays,
yeah.
because we're closed. All right, we got another prize for these people. Prize! We are once again giving you a ticket to win this amazing Spider-Man 700. So you will be entered to win this prize if you get it. We are also going to give you a Moonstreak Volume 1 from Guardian Knight Studios. This is like a whole trade and a chance to win Amazing Spider-Man 700. And all you have to do is tell me what blood-sucking tale is the first full-length work credited to artist Ben Templesmith. It's a monster book. If you can tell me what blood-sucking tale is the first full-length work credited to artist Ben Templesmith, you can get Moonstreak Volume 1 and a chance to win this Amazing Spider-Man number 700.
Oh, I thought you were about to say that Moonstreak is a rip-off of Spider-Man.
No, I was
Like,
not.
I do not think that is the case here. This is some cool artwork.
I love how Matt said easy. I know you know this one.
So easy.
So easy. We've also had a lot of conversations about this book this week.
700?
Indirectly. No, about this book that the answer to the question
Oh,
is. So.
I don't know what it is.
There was a movie.
I do know
There
what
was
it is.
a movie. Yeah.
There, now everybody knows.
Right, and now everybody should know what it is. So, also, I made it super easy by calling it a blood-sucking tale. That is the first full-length work credited to artist Ben Templesmith.
Such a great comic book series, too. I liked the comics a lot.
Great art.
Yeah.
Yes,
Templesmith.
most definitely.
That's some good, like, talk about art that moves your narrative along and has, like, the darkness. It is not Blade Gomez.
Who was that? Dark Horse that did that book?
Then we're gonna give it away.
Right?
Oh,
Can't go too much further because I want to talk about some people in the movie, but I can't talk about that until we have established the thing, because the name I'm going to say is going to completely and totally give it all away. So it's not Dracula, BJ. This is the blood-sucking tale to be credited to be the first full-length work to artist Ben Templesmith. It is
Not Dark Horse.
it's not. I
Mm-mm.
thought it was a Dark Horse book.
It is not a Dark Horse book. It's a weird choice for who it actually is in the end.
I have a second guess, but I'm gonna wait.
What's your second guess? I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Oh, there you go, BJ. It is 30 Days of Night.
IDW.
IDW.
It was
Yeah.
IDW. And
That was my second guess.
I was like, when I saw that it was IDW, I was like, whoa, I totally would not have pegged IDW for that.
Well, you know, they usually have those I can't even think of the word I'm looking for. Just forget it.
So there was a thing, I have to say this because we're encroaching on comic book news. So when all the talks were going on about like the Let There Be Carnage movie coming out, Donnie Cates had tweeted like, that's a really weird way to spell Ben Foster's name or something like that, because people were like, oh, I really wish this person would have been cast as Carnage. Oh, I wish this one. And Donnie was like, it should have been Ben Foster. And now I just want a really dark Carnage movie starring Ben Foster, because of the way, if you think about him in, like, the prison cell in 30 Days of Night, and, like, the idea of him as, like, a dark Carnage. I'm 100% in on this, and I'm really upset that we'll probably never see that, but I really want a dark Ben Foster Carnage movie now.
You don't give me what I want to eat. What I want to drink.
Man, I love Ben Foster. If you haven't seen him on the Disney Channel show Flash Forward, good luck. It's not even on Disney Plus.
Oh my god. It's not?
Mm-mm.
Those bastards.
I loved that show so much.
Ridiculous.
My favorite episode, I'm going to just say this has nothing to do with comic book stuff at all, but there was an episode where he's in a soccer game and they need to stall, and like the like essentially stoner dude, but they weren't stoners because they were like middle school kids.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I knew a lot of stoners in middle school. But the one like kid goes and he's trying to stall, and he's like, Coach, I hurt my cranium. And he's like, where's your cranium? And the kid's like grabbing his knee, and he's like, I hurt my cranium, Coach. And I just always think of that like every time like I think about hurting my knee or my head hurts or anything, like anywhere on the spectrum, I'm like, oh, my cranium hurts.
That's
Coach.
awesome.
Oh, the Disney Channel.
I would love to watch that show again.
Yeah, me too. With Jewel Sante, however she said her name, the girl that was in the Serenity Firefly.
Oh, yes.
Kaylee from Firefly
Yes.
and Ben Foster are the two leads in that show.
It's
Crazy.
been a long time since I've seen that show.
Yeah. Anyway, comic industry news. There's still a massive delay going on across all of the comic book industry and all of the publishing industry in general. So, if a title doesn't come out, just understand. What was that, babe?
Paper shortage.
It's a paper shortage, yes. So just know that, well, not just a paper shortage, because there's also the plastic shortage that makes it hard to get bags and boards. So if your comics are delayed or you're looking for supplies like bags and boards and bins and things like that, it's hard to get right now. So bear with your LCS and all of the publishing industry as they try to get you all of the books that they can. Thankfully, October is usually a low month. So hopefully there's time for them to like rebuild supplies before the big wave of, you know, Hulks and Venoms and all of the new titles come out in November.
And in the new year as well.
Yes, the new year is usually we see a couple of big titles start in like November, December time period. And that is because if they started in October, they would leave you on a non-cliffhanger issue right before the holidays, and then you wouldn't remember to come back after the holidays to get the books. So they'll kind of like wait until like late November, mid-November, late November to get you on like 1 and 2, because 2 is usually a big cliffhanger that draws you in a little bit more than issue 1 does, but doesn't lose people like issue 3 because you've kind of like started to like resolve some things. You're kind of in that like filler issue of the first arc on issue 3, so they try to leave you on like an issue 2 or start issue 1 in January. So hopefully that kind of helps us out. I don't know when long boxes will come back. I don't know when bags and boards will come back. Things like that are going to continue to like be something like supplies like that are going to continue to be hard. That said, we do have BCW short boxes in stock, as well as a ton of really cool graphic boxes. Spider-Man, we've got X-Men, we've got a Deadpool box in stock right now, I believe. We've got a Batman box, we've got a Kingdom Come box. So there's a lot of really cool graphic boxes in stock right now. If you are looking for some short boxes, I don't know about long boxes. Who knows when that's going to be a thing again. And then, yeah, so keep that in mind as you're looking for supplies. Other things coming up this weekend, coming soon, this next weekend. October 21st is technically Wonder Woman Day, but that is a Thursday, and I want you all to come celebrate. So October 23rd, we will be celebrating Wonder Woman Day in the shop, which is a Saturday. All day long, you can get free Wonder Woman comics. Check out our event on Facebook for what time you can actually meet Wonder Woman. We'll have a chance to meet Wonder Woman, take pictures, and also probably a story time with Wonder Woman, which will be live on our Facebook as well. So if you can't come out, Wonder Woman will be reading a story celebrating the history of Wonder Woman. So there's going to be a bunch of cool stuff going on for Wonder Woman Day on Saturday, October 23rd. But come by the store at any time on that day to get free comics. And then the 30th, we have the great and wonderful Chris Sheehan joining us as the headliner for Small Press Halloween. So, yes, if you don't know Chris Sheehan, he is the artist of Autumnal, which is actually how he says it. So,
Is it?
Chad is prepping for his interview and said that he has seen that Chris says Autumnal. So, we're going with that for now. But we will have Chris out here signing copies of Autumnal as well as the first issue of House of Slaughter. Yes, very excited. So excited. I'm so excited for House of Slaughter. It's going to be amazing. And Chris will be here signing copies. We will have a CGC representative on site. So if you're hoping to get your book witnessed by CGC, that is an option. He will also be doing remarks. He will be here. No. He will be here from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Signing books that day. So come out. It is a part, like I said, he is the headliner for Small Press Halloween, which will be featuring a lot of cool local creators. We're gonna have, I know for sure, Jeremy the artist is coming out, who has a really cool. He's doing a cool Kickstarter right now for a horror book that you should check out. And you might have, if you have ever gotten a caricature of yourself in Austin, you might have actually met Jeremy because he was like the caricature artist in Austin for a long time. And I know the Dan Price, who does the Barefoot Bigfoot, or that you have been anticipating, he will be here. Kevin Garcia will be here, I believe. We're having a couple of other guests. Richie Vegas will be here. I'm super excited. If you haven't checked out Richie's books, we do have them in the store. And of course, Drew Edwards, the creator of Halloween Man, will be a part of that.
Nice. Very nice.
Super excited. Phil and I will be doing some in conversation talks about indie comics, which we love, and also talking to some of these creators about what it's like to make your small press comics and indie comics and all of the things that it takes. So we'll be talking to them throughout the day, and there will be all kinds of fun activities. We're going to have some candy and free comics for kids. So if you as an adult would like to come in costume, please do. If you have kiddos in your life, bring them and let them get some free candy and some free comic books in honor of the holiday. That said, come October 30th, because we will be closed on October 31st in honor of Halloween. So don't come on October 31st. Come on the 30th and get all of your great, exciting stuff. Yes, and Chad said there will be a great podcast to listen to while you wait in any lines, because Chad will be interviewing Chris Sheehan on October 23rd. So
nice.
That creative credit will have a great interview with Chris Sheehan that you can hear. Other than that, previews are due. What?
No live stream.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
no live stream on October 31st because that's Halloween. Just wanted to say that so you can push that button. And then previews. Our previews order is due this Thursday. So if you have a previews catalog order that you are hoping to submit, I need to have that in my email box or my Facebook Messenger box by Wednesday. If you are a subscriber and you would like to prepay for those titles, you can save 20% off of anything you order out of the previous catalog. If you prepay for the book or statue or whatever, if you are not a subscriber but you would like to prepay, you can save 15%. If you just want to add stuff to your sub list, this is the best time to do it, because this is when they're going to figure out how many stores can have whatever. Right. This is the time to do it. So get your orders in for previews to me by Wednesday, so that way I can make sure that we have it done on Thursday. What else? There's some news. There was a whole DC fandom yesterday. A lot of things happened. Don't tell me what happened in the Batman trailer.
I would never do such a thing.
I was talking to them. They will. They will tell me.
Yeah. No, I think it was a great event. Comic book wise, there's a lot of really cool stuff from Milestone.
Yes.
Coming down the line. It's great to see that not only did those comics come back, they also announced that there's going to be a compendium that consists of all the original runs of the Milestone stuff. Which I think he said. I think Dennis Cowan said it was just over 1,000 pages. So that's going to be exciting. They did talk a little bit about the upcoming Wonder Woman stuff. Easily hyped that up.
Yeah,
like
Trials of the
crazy.
Amazon. Woot woot.
Yeah, I think the Wonder Woman stuff that they're going to have coming out soon is going to be awesome. And it's kind of bringing all of those characters together and kind of making that, because like I've always said, I feel like Wonder Woman deserves more than what she's been given throughout the years in terms of what they do at DC. So,
which I was gonna say, it's about damn time.
Yes.
Like the fact that I've had so many people message me and say, oh my god, I'm so excited for Trials of the Amazon, can I add this to my list? Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see Trials of the Amazon. And I'm like, yeah, because Wonder Woman is awesome, and all of the Wonder Women are. Like, yes. Nubia is a freaking queen. She's amazing. Yada Floor is phenomenal. Like, Donna Troy, Cassie, like, all these Wonder Girls. Like,
Cassie was my favorite.
Hippolyta, like, the actual, like, queen of the Amazons, who's been in your Justice League stories recently.
Yeah.
Like, if you, like, all of these, like, badass women, Artemis, who gets forgotten as a part of the Amazon culture a lot. Like, people forget that Artemis is an Amazon, because she's always off with, like, Red Hood and different things like that, and we don't think about it. But, like, there's so many amazing Amazonian women, and bringing them all together to tell this story of how badass they are, I'm so happy that we're finally putting some respect on the women of the Amazonian culture's name.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great.
It's gonna be awesome.
A lot of great stuff. Also, I'm a little nervous that starting in January, Detective Comics is gonna be weekly.
Ooh, that's a lot of detective.
That was something.
Who's gonna be writing it then? Is it still gonna be Mariko?
I think so.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I kind of felt like maybe a little too much, but it sounds like they're gonna start going back to Batman, the main Batman titles being more regular, like more like on a every other week kind of thing.
Did they announce Tynion's replacement
for Batman?
Mm-hmm.
It's Joshua Williamson.
Is it Joshua Williamson? Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
cool.
It's gonna be him. I think it's Tamaki on Detective, but they're saying now that Detective is going to be Batman family only.
Which it should be.
So it's not going to be Batman, it's going to be everyone
Right,
else.
It should be Bat Family. That's what it has been since they almost had to cancel it early on. So, cool. I'm happy. We need some Bat Family. We do not need necessarily just more Batman, but we do need...
Yeah, if just take Batman out of Gotham for like 2 years. Let's stop making Batman books. I know DC's not going to do it.
AT&T won't let them.
No. There's a podcast that I listen to where they say that Batman is California. Because it takes up so much space and big in the economy.
Well, the thing is that they're never going to do that because yesterday they had a massive series of announcements, and the only thing that flooded my newsfeed on all social media was about the Batman trailer.
Right.
So why would they ever get rid of Batman in comics when the only thing anybody cared about in all of those announcements was a Batman movie? After spending years saying we don't need any more Batman movies, that was still the only thing anybody cared about. They're never going to... AT&T saw that because AT&T saw your internet history. And so AT&T saw that and was like, well, the only thing anybody cared about was the Batman movie. So why are you announcing all this other stuff, Jim Lee? Why are you giving all these other characters stories? Nobody cared about anything but the Batman story. Because when they ran the numbers, that's what came back. And why do we get so many Batman stories? Because the internet is always hype about Batman. Because the general public loves Batman. And as long as that's what we come out of a DC announcement day hyping up, that's what AT&T is going to say, well, then you have to do more of that because that's what makes money. Because AT&T is here for the bottom line, not for the stories. And Jim Lee's like, but I have all of these toys. Let me play with them.
Right.
I want to make all of the comics. And they're like, no, I'm sorry, Jim Lee. Stop trying to hire people to tell these other stories. And that's where we get it from. And we've done it to ourselves. And we continue to do it to ourselves. Even though we all want more, we all still like post about the one thing. And then that's what AT&T sees. And that's what we get.
I'll say this. As much as I loved the Batman trailer, it was amazing. I'm excited. It was not the biggest news, I felt like, for the entire day.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there was so many other things that I was more excited about. And the possibility of giving more characters in DC a chance to thrive.
Yeah.
Because eventually, you know, there is going to be Batman fatigue. I know a lot of people who are dropping Batman titles because they're like, I just need that break from Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to have those other characters like Wonder Woman. You know, I remember seeing Chad tweet all day long, just waiting for anything Green Lantern related. Yeah. You know, I'm in a Hawkman group that's just like, what? Can we please have more Hawkman?
Yeah.
In this, like, just give us any Hawkman title possible. So yeah, I think they need to start really.
A lot of really great DC characters, and like Green Arrow had an 80th anniversary this year.
No one talked about it.
There wasn't even a blank. Like, he didn't even get a blank so that like you could take it to an artist to do a sketch on.
Really?
He did not even get a blank.
Wow.
And he doesn't have a title. It was his 80th anniversary, and he didn't get a title.
He hasn't had a title. That Rebirth series ended a good bit ago.
A good bit ago, and he hasn't had anything. But if you were going to launch a new title for him, even as a mini series, this would have been the year to do it for his 80th anniversary, and he didn't even get a mini. And Black Canary just came back in the new Deathstroke book, but like up until that, like we haven't had like a Black Canary title
since she was the one when she was in the band.
Yeah, and so we're not seeing a lot of these other characters really. And that's still mainstream, well-known DC characters.
Yeah. And
we've got these well-known characters that aren't even getting titles. And so all of these other ones, where are they? They're just, like, completely lost in limbo. And because we can't even make books for the well-known ones right now. And it's kind of, it's a huge shame because DC has a massive, you know, they have 80 years... More than 80 years, 83 years at this point, 2 years, 83 years of characters. And that were around for, some of them for 20 years before Marvel even existed. Yeah. And yet they don't get their titles. And so, Green Arrow is going to be in Deep Target, which is the Aquaman Green Arrow team up, but that comes out at the end of the month. Exactly, Chad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What a weird team up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, like, give them some space. Give your characters a chance to have stories. And every time something comes out, I'm like, where are these stories? Like, I have so many things. Like, where the hell is Zatanna? You're going to put out a Zatanna show soon, and you don't have a Zatanna ongoing? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And when was the last time she had an ongoing?
When Paul Dini wrote it?
Yeah, which was a while ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how you think you're going to put out a Zatanna show, and people are going to know who she is if you don't put her in a book, nonetheless, an ongoing of her own title. So, you know... I got some announcements for you, DC. Yeah. And here they are.
I want 2 titles to come back to DC. I want the Justice Society of America.
Ooh.
Give me the old school, because, I mean, Jeff Johns did a lot of great stuff with JSA when he was doing it. And I want a new Brave and the Bold title.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Give
some mashups in there.
Yeah, just, give me a Green Arrow Aquaman team up. Give me all these kind of, like, off-the-wall, and it's a chance, too, for you to test those characters. Like, oh, hey, what if people would be interested in Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle, or Zatanna, like, Black Canary. Give us these team-up books. I think that is a title that they should easily bring back.
Yeah, agreed. So, you know, if you need a list, Phil and I will make it for you. And,
I'll talk DC Comics all day long.
Yeah, and if you want to make that your announcement at the next DC fandom is that you're bringing back Vertigo, we're here for that.
Good luck.
We're here.
Because, I mean, that's essentially...
It's the black label, but, like, you know, it's cool. And the thing about... I don't know if it's AT&T or DC, like, editorial, but the thing is that they're very much worried that people get confused about things like that. Like, their whole thing was, people were like, why don't you make your TV shows align with your movies? And they said, well, it's not the same audience.
Right.
And it was like, okay, well, your TV shows, your movies, and your comics are all in different universes. And they're like, yeah, but it's not the same people. And it's like, but it should be. You should be able to, like, get some kind of crossover between that. You know, we've seen that the MCU has proven that you can have TV shows that come out of your movie universe and go back and forth.
Right.
And so it's like you can't... But it is a lot of the same people. But you've just completely negated that. And you're like, they won't get it, that it's connected. And it's like, but they could if you gave them the tools to get that.
Yeah, but I remember they did the Arrow comics when the show was coming out, and I don't remember anybody reading those books.
And that's the thing, but they didn't promote those comics either.
True.
And that was the thing. It was like they didn't really connect, so you didn't need them. In the same way that, like, the MCU, like, you're not going to be able to go back to the MCU without having seen WandaVision and Loki and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, when you go back to the MCU and Sam Wilson is Captain America, you're going to be like, what the hell? When did that happen?
Right.
You got to go back and watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. And so, like, you have to build the audience into that. Like, you have to try. And I think that was the same thing with Vertigo. They were like, well, it's confusing. And it's like, because people don't know that that's DC. And it's like, well, did you teach them that it was DC? And did you try? Did you do the effort? Did you do the marketing? And it's like, well, they didn't. But AT&T's like, well, let's just make it less confusing and call it Black Label, which is fine. But now all the people who did like Vertigo are like, well, that doesn't exist anymore. And the Black Label was supposed to be Vertigo, but now it's just become more Batman titles.
Yeah, and I don't know why they're afraid to call it Vertigo, because they also did Young Animal for a bit, and they brought Gerard Way in, and they, you know, brought back a lot of really interesting characters, like Shade the Changing Girl. They brought in Cave Carson, like all these really interesting low-level DC characters, and then it was just like, well, this isn't selling the way we want it to. Let's just forget it.
Yeah.
But I think if you would have called it Vertigo, people would have been a little bit more inclined to pick those books up.
Absolutely. I think so. Like, even, like, yeah, like, all the Joe Hill stuff should have been under Vertigo.
Yeah.
And I think that you do lose people because there was a fan base for Vertigo. There was a huge fan base for Vertigo. And by getting rid of it, people were, like, completely lost to it. And it's, you know... Just put things back. Just bring back the name Vertigo. And mark and teach people. If you want people to identify it with DC and that's your problem because you're AT&T and you need that brand recognition, then do the work to teach them that it's a part of it. Put the dual logo. Like, you're putting DC and then you're putting Black Label. Put that dual logo on there.
Call it DC's Vertigo. I don't care.
I don't care. Just bring back Hexwives, for crying out loud. Let's just be honest. That's really what I'm getting at here. Just bring back Hexwife, for love of God. Chad had a good point in bring back Showcase. Make an anthology featuring various characters from the universe for new talent. I had been building my portfolio to enter the New Writers Workshop so that I could get into the Showcase, because, like, you had to go through... You had to, like, apply and then go into, like, this New Writers Workshop. And it was really cool because you got to learn from, like... They gave you, like, a mentor from, like, the current people. And then you got the chance to write in the New Talent Showcase and put out, like, whatever character they assigned you to. And I was so excited. And I finally had, like, our book out. And I was so, like, yes, I've got all of the pieces that I was missing from my puzzle. And then they announced that they had gotten rid of it. And I was like, no, I just finished my last piece of the puzzle. I was so happy. I was like, why? Why did you do that? And then also, this is how we end up with all the same 5 writers writing everything, because you got rid of your New Talent Showcase and you didn't have anybody to bring in from. Totally.
Which also very exciting is one of the things that they talked about with the milestone stuff is they're starting a program for young black creators who eventually will take over Milestone and then start to become the new voices in comics, which I think is fantastic. Like, it is time to go out and find those new creators, the ones that are off the wall, that are gonna take some of these characters and do like what they did at Vertigo. Because I mean, I didn't care about John Constantine that much until I started reading the Vertigo series. You know, Grant Morrison's Animal Man, Swamp Thing.
Yes.
I have always said that Swamp Thing is the greatest comic book ever written by Alan Moore. And that, like, I don't think DC would have let Alan Moore do those kinds of things at DC proper. So, give some of these, you know, like Vertigo. I would like to see Daniel Warren Johnson do a Vertigo book.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, anything other than the Batman stuff that we keep getting.
Right.
Please.
Yes, I agree.
I'm tired of Batman. I need less Batman and more everything else. But I don't know. At the same time, though, DC's got some stuff coming down the pipeline that I'm a little excited for. Some of the solicits for next year. Also, Tom King. You know, just keep letting Tom King.
Right.
You know.
Right. And that's definitely not like, and none of that was like a bash on DC, but a like, hey, DC, you're doing some things. Here's how you could do more things that we would enjoy. Like, it wasn't like, you know, it was like, hey, I think that's something, we talk about this on the live stream a lot, is that people, like, think that you can't, like, criticize something without still liking it. Like, we are enjoying a lot of DC titles, but that doesn't mean there's not more that we want to see from them.
I have learned in comic books that there are a lot of people who talk mad shit on a lot of things in comics, and it's stuff that they're reading and enjoying.
But you gotta... And that's the thing. It's because it is art and literature.
Right.
And that's the thing that you do with art and literature is you talk about it and you dissect it and you pull it apart, and it's not that you don't like it, it's that you are talking about it because that's what you're supposed to do with art and literature. You're supposed to talk about, this meant something to me, this spoke to me, but this didn't, and I didn't like the way they did that, and like that was where they lost me. You're supposed to do that with art and literature, but you're also supposed, you know, still find the pieces that you do love, and it's okay to like things and hate and not like things, and it doesn't mean you're like, you don't need to just trash it. Because the other thing is to remember that just because it's not for you doesn't mean it's not for somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. So
I can honestly say that I did not enjoy, and probably will continue to not enjoy, Bendis Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
But I'm still reading that book because it is a Legion of Superheroes, and just seeing those characters in general is worthwhile.
Yeah.
But I will always talk shit about that book.
That's fair.
Yes. I'll be like, Bendis can't write.
And if you do enjoy it, come talk to Phil about the things you do enjoy about it, because he might enjoy the same things about it.
Oh, yeah. We can definitely talk. I have a lot of positive things to say.
Right.
But my overall thought is this was not a good...
Right. I have a lot of positive things to say about a lot of things Bendis did, and I have a lot of overall opinions as well. So.
Such a disappointment. But DC... continue to take those chances. Like,
yes.
I would rather you sign Bendis and it not work than you just say, oh, this may not work, let's not sign Bendis.
And what if we also signed a bunch of people nobody had heard of and let them tell some crazy off-the-wall stories? That's also a good idea. Or sign some more indie artists and writers, because we're seeing that that's really working for Marvel. Let's try it out some more. Yeah. And congratulations, Chip Zdarsky, on your upcoming Batman title.
Yes.
Very excited to see that.
Very excited for that.
We could go on and on about this forever, because there's lots and lots of great things to talk about, and a lot of things that not. So I'm going to give you one more prize, though, for the night. Prize! We are going to give away one of our Day of the Dead posters. This is the new show from Sci-Fi. That actually premiered on the 15th. It just launched on Friday. We're also going to give away this shirt. If it doesn't Fit you, turn it into a pillow, or re-gift it. I don't care what you do with it.
Baseball
What size is it?
This
It's
one's
a
a medium. They gave me a lot of medium sizes. So that's what it is. But if it doesn't fit you, give it as a gift because it's a really cool shirt. And you're also going to get a ticket to win the raffle in store. Oh yes, if you win the T-shirt, you have to pick it up in store. That is the case. I'm not going to ship the T-shirt to you. But you also have a chance to win this Amazing Spider-Man 700 with the inclusion of a raffle ticket. So you can win this prize in store only. Pick up on the T-shirt. Not going to mail the T-shirt out. But you have to answer the question. Jerry Conway is listed as the sole writer on Tomb of Dracula #1. But what other well-known Marvel writer is actually said to have written the plot? Writer being the key word, because you're going to, and this is not a hard question, and Matt is shaking his head at me for how easy the question is. If you can tell me Jerry Conway is listed as the sole writer on Tomb of Dracula, but what other well-known Marvel writer is said to have written the plot of Tomb of Dracula #1, you win this poster, this T-shirt, and a chance to win the Amazing Spider-Man 700, but you have to pick it up in store. It is not Marv Wolfman. Chad said comics out this week: Nightwing 85, Thor 18, Green Lantern 7, and Refrigerator Full of Heads, The Return of the Hill House imprint. Speaking of, for the Bat Fam, we've got Ice Cream Man #26, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 122, Catwoman 36, which is going to have a new creative team on it soon. Catwoman.
Really?
That was announced yesterday.
No,
yes.
Joel Jones.
No, Joel Jones hasn't been on. It's been Ram V.
Oh, that's right. It has been.
It will be a new team soon. Catwoman Lonely City #1. It's not Becky Cloonan.
If only.
Nubia and the Amazons out this week. Wonder Woman Day Special Edition. Not All Robots issue 3 is out. Fight Girls #4, Ant #1. I don't know if I actually got that, Chad. We Don't Kill Spiders #2, Ma #2, finally. Popstar Assassin. I did actually get that, Chad. That one I will have. So, it is... No, none of those answers are correct. This is the person who actually is the writer who they said wrote the plot. He is not one of the people who is credited with having created Tomb of Dracula #1, but he is the Marvel writer who did actually write the plot. Jerry Conway was supposed to do the book by himself, and then they actually decided not to let him do it. His editor, a guy you may have heard of, Stan Lee, decided that he should not be the one to write the plot until issue 2 when he was allowed to take over on his own. So there is a well-known Marvel writer who actually is said to have written Tomb of Dracula #1. Written, not drawn, writer. Okay, Ram, yeah, I'll get you down for Chad. Yes, it is Roy Thomas. I'm giving you this, Chad. I'm giving you this entry into the thing. I can give BJ the poster and the shirt, but Chad, I'll give you the entry into the drawing. So, yeah, it was Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas is actually said to have written Tomb of Dracula #1, but it is credited to Jerry Conway, even though he did not take over writing the plot until issue 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, Roy Thomas is not actually credited for it. So, yeah. BJ says, nice, Chad, which I'm sure you saw. So, congrats, BJ, because I know you love your zombie life. BJ, I'm about to start volume 2 of Year Zero finally, so I can't wait to talk to you about volume 2 of Year Zero, because I never got to read it. Ram, I saw that you said you're interested in the Nightwing book and the Catwoman, the new Catwoman title. I'm also really interested in Catwoman Lonely City, and I want to know where that goes. So, really excited. Cool. Other than that, as usual, we are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, so we won't see you tomorrow or Tuesday. Like I mentioned earlier, our Wednesday shipment, this is actually one of the lightest weeks in comics for the year. this upcoming week. It's supposed to be a really light Marvel week. It's supposed to be a really light Image week. But that said, it is not at Bat City. At Bat City, we will actually have the missing titles from a couple weeks ago. Okay. So your indie books are actually doubled at Bat City this week. So that's really exciting information for you. And I believe there may be a secret pop-up sale at Bat City this week. So keep an eye out for information about that, because this is definitely going to be a week to pop into Bat City for some fun stuff. Other than that, Wonder Woman Day is on Saturday, so if we don't see you in the store Wednesday through Friday, we will see you obviously on Saturday for free Wonder Woman comics and a chance to take pictures with Wonder Woman and a Wonder Woman superhero story time. Once again, a shout out to our boy Nigel Crutchington for Kings of Prohibition wine, which was our wine of choice tonight and one of our wines of choice all the time. Supposed to be a limited release, but we're still drinking it a couple months later. So,
well,
how many did Nigel buy is the question of the day.
Like somewhere between 4 and 6 bottles, maybe.
Sweet.
They were sitting on our counter for a while.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Nigel. Thank you, Nigel, for giving us that, and thank you everybody else for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. We will see you in the shop this week for New Comic Book Day on Wednesday, or throughout the week, or on Saturday for Wonder Woman Day, because Wonder Woman deserves a celebration. Please join us. It's going to be awesome. And guess what it's not about? What is it not about, Phil? It's not about Steve Trevor. It's about Wonder Woman. So come celebrate.
No Steve Trevor appearance?
There is not a Steve Trevor anniversary issue, which I'm excited about, because when Wonder Woman's movie came out, there was the Wonder Woman Day special. Right. That was a Steve Trevor special, which was a load of bullshit. So congratulations to Wonder Woman for 4 titles actually about Wonder Woman for free for Wonder Woman Day. I'm very proud of you. Stay tuned for next week's live stream, where I talk about why Wonder Woman is amazing the entire time. We'll see you then. Have a great night and an awesome week.